That's getgym.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A change of plans for Inauguration Day. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. The president-elect says due to severe cold, Monday's swearing-in ceremony will be moved indoors. In a social media post writing he doesn't want to see anyone hurt, and noting that President Reagan also used the Capitol Rotunda in 1985 because of very cold weather. Monday's presidential parade will also be moved into the nearby Capital One Arena.
That seats about 20,000 or fewer of the attendees. That is a much smaller crowd than they would be expecting on the entire National Mall. And so we're not sure what exactly the plan is for overflow in this dangerous cold. President Trump is saying on Truth Social, though, that it is important that everyone will be safe.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. The Sunday victory rally in the same arena will go on as planned. President-elect Trump says he'll make a decision on TikTok in the not-too-distant future, but that he needs time to review the situation after the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously ruled a federal law forcing the platform to split from its Chinese parent company or face a U.S. ban is constitutional.
Here's a little bit of what they said, acknowledging that there are 170 million Americans who use this, saying it's a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, source of community. But get this, they say, but Congress has determined that divestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices and relationship with the foreign adversary. Much of the arguments had been about, well, is this a First Amendment issue? People are running their businesses and making political statements on this app. Doesn't seem like the justices bought that.
Fox's Shannon Bream. TikTok could be banned in the U.S. beginning this Sunday, but the law does have a provision allowing for an extension. The TikTok CEO just responding to the ruling with a video thanking the president-elect for a commitment to help find a solution that keeps the app available in the U.S. America is listening to Fox News.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Increasing clouds going through our Friday afternoon. 48 for the high. Tonight, periods of rain, especially during the evening. Maybe a sloppy, wet snowflake late night. 26 for the low. By the time we get below freezing, the moisture is gone. Saturday, partly sunny, windy, temperatures holding in the 20s. If anything, we go down a little bit. Sunday, sunny and 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com And join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, Health from Within, STL.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new pet-friendly facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care with spacious apartments. They're beautiful and have amazing amenities like granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, big walk-in closets. They have on-site PT, a fitness center, and even a movie theater. New Perspective Senior Living is redefining senior living. Call to schedule a free lunch today and visit npseniorliving.com. That's npseniorliving.com.
Financial health is more than just really the investments. You have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 7 a.m., right here on KFTK.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Some huge news out of the Supreme Court as the justices uphold a controversial ban on the social media app TikTok. Now, the justices signaled that they would uphold this ban several days ago when they had oral arguments. This all started last year in April when Congress, with broad bipartisan support, said that the app would be banned if it didn't divest from its parent company ByteDance because of concerns over that company's ties to China. It's a national security concern that has been expressed by presidents of both parties. Specifically, the concern, Jim, is that this app is collecting data, massive amounts of data from all of its users, and then potentially that data could be used by the Chinese government, especially in the event of a crisis.
So there is a CNN report of the Supreme Court reaction, ruling, I should say. So the Supreme Court doesn't react. They rule. Just like you, Ryan.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was joking.
That's a great way to start the show. You rule.
Thank you, yeah. Man, those were the days. You rule. That was a phrase.
Well, it's still a phrase on commercials.
You don't you rule.
Yeah.
What is that?
Burger King.
Okay. But that was a big thing when we were kids. It's like, man, you rule, or that rules.
You're the man. That was all the same era.
Yeah, people used to tell me that all the time.
It was a compliment. You the man, Annie.
That's what I told myself.
You the Manny.
You the man. The Supreme Court has upheld the ban on TikTok. So Sunday is when TikTok is toast. And we're going to see what Donald Trump is going to do with this. The Fox News report, President-elect Donald Trump said on Friday today, he still needs time to review the Supreme Court's decision to uphold a federal law banning TikTok unless it divests from its Chinese parent company before January 19th. Obviously, that is the day before Trump is set to be sworn in. It's, if Joe Biden were having this conversation, he'd be worried about the exact minutes and seconds of whose fault this was. That's all that would matter.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter that a lot of people are going to lose their livelihood because TikTok is going away, if it does. It wouldn't matter that TikTok is a huge factor in people getting news and information in the way that, let's just not talk about the Chinese government approves it. We've watched what our government under the Joe Biden administration has done to approve and disprove and threaten the people who run these platforms to make sure that whatever is coming across those social media outlets is government approved. That's called propaganda. That's like textbook definition of propaganda. People will talk about propaganda as anything that's twisted and contorted. You know, maybe you're lucky you've got a 10% thread of the truth in there, and then the rest of it's just hogwash, and people call that propaganda. Actual propaganda is government funded. The real bold-faced word in the history books before the mid-2000s, which is kind of when I trust them more, propaganda is government-subsidized thought control. And when you go back and you look back at how Joe Biden and also the bureaucracy, while Trump was still in place through COVID, when you look at what our government was willing to do, we have major Chinese propaganda, government control, pillaging of your personal information problems with TikTok. But we got some problems of our own, and it makes me excited, yet leaning in and keeping a close eye on the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the Bezoses of the world who own a lot of media platforms. Obviously, Elon Musk is front and center of this whole conversation. Who else is there? Is there anybody else?
Well, Kevin O'Leary is injecting himself into
He's
it.
Like, let me in. He wants to buy TikTok. China they haven't sold it yet. More from the Fox News report. Trump added that everyone must respect the high court's decision. Quote, the Supreme Court decision was expected and everyone must respect it. My decision on TikTok will be made in the not too distant future, but I must have time to review the situation. Stay tuned. Our YouTube poll for today on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. What should happen with TikTok in America? We've got 3 options for you. It should be banned. We should leave it go as it is. Don't even worry about it, touch it. Just leave TikTok be, or require American ownership to stay. And the American ownership to stay right now, as I understand it, is the Supreme Court has upheld that in order for it to be functioning in this country, it needs to have an American ownership quality to it. Is that? Do I understand that correctly? Mm-hmm. Trump wrote on True Social, there's no doubt that for more than 170 million Americans, TikTok offers a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, and source of community. I'm sorry, that's not his True Social. That's the Supreme Court. Sorry, close. That court wrote that in their unsigned ruling. But Congress has determined that divestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices and relationship with a foreign adversary. For the foregoing reasons, we conclude that the challenged provisions do not violate petitioners' rights, First Amendment rights. The judgment of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit is affirmed. People are always confusing the Supreme Court's rulings and Trump's True Social posts, so
I do it all the time.
I don't feel too bad about it.
Sometimes I go to Truth Social and I meant to type SCOTUS.
Yeah, so close. There's like 2 or 3 of the same letters.
Mm-hmm.
Were you happy to hear that the Supreme Court came back with this ruling?
This is fantastic. I was very, very excited about this. I mean, we're already into the poll. I mean, this is the top news of the day, but it's what just happened was the Supreme Court and the Biden administration just forced Donald Trump to find a buyer for TikTok who's probably going to be conservative and free speech activist. That is fantastic based on the amount of people, especially younger generations, that get their news through TikTok. This is a big win.
You can't, I don't know, maybe some of y'all have already commented this. So if you did, I haven't read through the comments on the YouTube. So if this is a challenge to somebody who's written this out already, it's not personal. TikTok is a social media cesspool of junk.
Yes.
That also includes information, news, opinion. You might say it's like radio or any other medium that is out there right now. I don't want to live in a country where if I don't like what somebody else is consuming or looking at or doing, that I should be able to say, it's just trash, make it go away. Because the end of that is some sort of, in my mind, political gain for me. That coin flips so quickly.
Right.
I'm not interested in that. Really, the only true frustration and concern that I have with TikTok to the extent that we are not on TikTok. I want to be on TikTok. Brad every day is putting together TikTok content on YouTube and on our X account at Annie Fry Show and on our Facebook page account.
Instagram.
Yes. Instagram, probably.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on there.
Hooray.
You've made it.
It should be on TikTok. It should be. And I've kind of I've been watching the revolving door of trying to get in the game like, ooh, do I go now? Ooh, do I go now? It's going to get canceled. Should I get in before it gets done? And the answer to me is always like, no, stop it, Annie. Just stop. If Kevin O'Leary buys TikTok, if an American that I think cares about good business and making sure that the function of the platform is to protect free speech, but also not take my information as a foreign adversary. I mean, this is kind of where it gets into gray area. I was talking about this at the beginning of the show. Let's not pretend that Facebook is protecting your information.
Right.
Think of the most ridiculous, non-related to Ryan Wiggins product that you would never want to buy and say it out loud. And let's see if we can get it in people's news feeds.
Skirts.
Skirts. That's not vague.
Oh.
And you wear them all the time.
No, I don't. Those are kilts. You want something specific. Okay. That has nothing to do with anything that I would care about. How about Tiger Claw?
Tiger Claw?
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Claws. For self-defense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tiger Claws. Non-firearm related self-defense mechanisms.
Usually marketed to women.
Towards women. Hot women.
Hot, yeah.
While we're at it.
Right, yeah. Cougar Claws.
Cougar Claws.
Hey, I'm trying to do you guys a favor. You can be like, it wasn't me, it was the Annie Fry Show.
Now if it comes up in your feed, you're hot too, though.
Annie said hot women, and that's the only reason they're there. I promise. I was just trying to watch Hot Frosty. Found out it was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, that's after the fact. You go, oh, it was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Feel a little taken for. It's just an experiment. It's a social experiment. I'm going to open my phone and Facebook, and if I have a hot woman trying to sell me self-defense items when I scroll, I'm going to go hide.
Yeah.
Until Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, owns TikTok.
I think Tiger Claw could show up if we just said Nancy Mace enough.
I get it. We have so many concerns. It's easy to just like lump everything into China bad. Yes.
Yeah, it is easy.
Not arguing
yeah,
that
right.
the China interest into your most personal area, which is your phone. I mean, your phone's got everything on it. If it exists in your life, your phone knows about it. It's cataloged it. It's stored it. And when TikTok is downloaded onto your phone, you've given TikTok permission to the whole thing. So I'm not interested. I would like to get a burner phone that we just have an Annie Fry Show TikTok account on. I've considered it. But I'm like, why am I playing that stupid game? I don't want to do that. The second that it becomes not a product of China, I feel like I want to be like, yes, AFS on TikTok. And then I'm like, so I can just sell all of that information to American government.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are lots of people who are interested in buying TikTok. Oddly, they're clamoring to be on conservative radio. Kilmeade's had one or two of them on, and they're investment groups of names I don't remember. But there are a lot of conservative-minded American business people who are really interested in buying TikTok.
I am interested in buying TikTok.
Me too.
Don't have the meat. Maybe we can go in together.
Yeah. Pool a couple bucks.
Yeah.
We'd be the lead investor, not the main investor. We'd just spearhead it for the big investors.
The face of the operation.
Right.
Get your best skirt on, buddy.
No. First of all, they're kilts. Second of all, I don't wear those to business meetings. That's for pleasure.
Well, never mind. Have you ever tried to make a business deal in one of those suckers?
Never tried, never will, because I know they don't sell. Look, if I come into a business meeting and you're wearing a kilt, I'm walking right out. Unless you're Scottish and I'm investing in Scotland.
I can only imagine you going into a business meeting and a woman's wearing a skirt and you're like, I thought we said no kilts.
Is that a plaid skirt, ma'am? I don't respect you. I'm leaving.
It's like cultural appropriation. Don't you know that this is 2020? Oh, it's 2025. You're good.
Yeah, might have to call her sir.
This is going too far. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the inauguration. There is news you've probably heard so far that a lot of the inauguration is being moved inside. Is it because it's going to be 12 degrees outside? Or was that just a very helpful detail of information to protect the president? I'd be curious to see what you think about it. You join us on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat, and you can leave your comments there. Also, let us know and go vote in our poll today. What should happen with TikTok in America? Should it be banned? Should we leave it as it is, or should we require American ownership to stay? Chris commented, I chose ban due to the constant negativity, security issues I hear about it. What do you think? Go leave your comment, leave a vote. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? Well, I know a quick and easy way to do it. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey guys, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. It's never too early. It's never too late to get control over your finances and your financial future. You can do it with a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. All you have to do is bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for this month's classes and next. So call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal Dave Glover KMOX number, 314-350-8110 for Financial and Tax Architects.
Well, it is 2025. Wishing everybody a better year than last year. Wishing everybody succeed on their resolutions. Really hope somebody succeeds on their resolution. Ignore that. I don't want to be a Bertie Downer. I thought I'd save all the Debbies out there. But anyway, it's still cold. You still need heat. If your system breaks, remember, look me up. You saved me on your phone. If you haven't saved me on the phone, save it under Bart. If you forget my name and number, here it is. Bart Inman. The number, it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The only number at Missouri and Illinois is 314-293-2600. That's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless. And Happy New Year.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
When the weather is the story is on 97.1. With live local updates and up-to-date forecasts from 97.1 Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Your local source for what's important. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
She acts like summer and walks like rain. Reminds me that there's a time to change. Since the return of a stay on the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. Well, tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all fading and that heaven is overrated? Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? One without a permanent scar, and then you missed me.
Breaking news just moments ago, a source confirming to Fox News that President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance will be sworn in indoors at Monday's inauguration. I believe this is only the second time this has happened. The last time it happened was 1985 with none other than Ronald Reagan. There are dangerously cold temperatures that are moving into the region, and it will be the coldest inauguration in 40 years.
There's Kayleigh McEnany reporting today on the news of a relocation of the festivities for the inauguration. I know this is changing plans for a lot of people who are expecting to go stand out there on the National Mall to take in this historic moment. It's going to be 12 degrees. That's painfully cold.
Yeah, coldest in 40 years, apparently. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan, 1985, that inauguration got moved indoors. Do you believe that it's being moved completely just because of the weather, or is this helpful? It almost to me feels divinely inspired.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably primarily weather, and the weather is a nice reason to move it indoors, but I don't think anybody's fighting having more security, having the luxury of being inside.
Indoors, contained. Yeah. I mean, have you ever been out in that type of cold for a prolonged period of time?
The coldest I've ever been, I went up for a Minnesota Wild game, so Wild were playing the Blues, and I went up to Minnesota to visit a friend. And I remember just walking to the stadium, and this is probably in late November of whatever year it was. In Minnesota in late November, it is so cold your lungs hurt to breathe. It was crazy cold.
It's the kind of cold where you don't take a full breath until you get home and thaw. And it takes, for me, hours to get to the point where I have officially reacclimated my body to not being freezing.
And these ceremonies take a long time. So I could see if you have a ticket to go to these, lots and lots of important people are going to be there. Why would you want to sit outside for hours in that?
I think the coldest that I've ever been, I could think of 2 times. One specifically, my brother played football for the Edwardsville Tigers. I don't remember which year in school he was, but they went to back-to-back state championship games. And the games were being played at University of Illinois on their football field. And it might have been 2003, possibly. And they lost. They lost back-to-back, I think, to the same school. It kind of sucks. Still, you go to state championship game. That's cool. We're sitting up in mid-level of whatever the football field is called at the University of Illinois, and it was blowing so hard, and it was so cold. We were all bundled up. I remember I had the hot hands and everything stuck in the shoes, in the hands.
Yeah.
You got every layer on. People were going into like concession areas and getting cardboard boxes and breaking them down so that you could build like walls in front of you to stop the wind. And I remember driving home from Champaign, and it was, we got home and I was still uncomfortable from being so cold. Now, if you're going out and you're watching Donald Trump be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, or if you're watching your family member win a state championship, you remember the good parts, but you will remember the cold.
Oh yeah, and if you're again with the inauguration, there are people out there, and I don't just mean people working it. I mean people like they're making a trip out there because they want to be a part of the festivities. They will be out there all day. So moving it indoors is not a bad idea.
And to your point too, you'd have people who are out there who have to protect the people who are out
And
there
those people
that are
too.
required out there. And if you have less of that, then you have less of that.
I remember this was not that long ago. It was when I was driving Uber. We had a cold snap that lasted a pretty good amount. So this would have probably been 2017 or 18, right in there, that I went out to try to turn on my little Ford Fiesta, and the thing wouldn't even turn. It was that cold.
It was like, nope.
Yeah, it wasn't that. I mean, it's a Ford Fiesta, so it's not like a high-performance automobile, but it wasn't an old car either, and it would not turn on.
I want to talk about this whole scenario. Now, we've talked a lot about the safety and security of the event, of the president, so on and so forth. Let's listen to Chad Pergram. We've got him queued up over here. He was talking before about my understanding is he's reporting on the events of this weekend coming up here, but also the confirmation process for some of these nominees. Let's listen into what Chad Pergram has to say here.
John, good afternoon. Well, the Department of Homeland Security is a massive, unwieldy federal agency. If confirmed, NOM must wrestle with the threat of terrorism, cyber attacks, the response by FEMA to natural disasters, and trouble at the Secret Service.
I think that was the question I get asked the most is why would you want to head up such a dysfunctional department? And I would say that because the mission of the department is to secure the homeland and our people. It's our biggest vulnerability right now.
NOM says the Secret Service needs to get back to its core mission of protecting the president, especially after 2 attempts to kill President-elect Trump last year. And then there is FEMA. Lawmakers asked if FEMA would be fair to California after the fires.
The specter is there of potential discrimination based on politics, withholding money from California or other states.
Under my leadership at the Department of Homeland Security, there will be no political bias to how disaster relief is delivered to the American people.
NOM also fielded questions about potential family separations as President-elect Trump hopes to harden the border and deport those illegally in the U.S. Now the question is when the Senate could confirm NOM.
What do you think the timing is to try to move this nomination, considering the realities of the Senate?
I don't see a reason why the Democrats would maybe not let it go on Monday. I think that Secretary of State Rubio, there's a chance we'll vote on him on Monday. We're going to ask and advocate. It needs consent from the Democrats.
So Chad Pergram's reporting here on what we've been listening to today. If you've been following the news yourself, you know that Kristi Noem's been facing the Senate hearing for her confirmation as the head of DHS. And I was just kind of thinking here, especially after they announced that they were going to move it inside. I watched the whole show. Is it Designated Survivor? Yes, it was with Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh,
he's like
okay.
the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development or Agriculture, one or the other. I don't know. It's way down the list in the line of succession, but in that that drama that shows at the very beginning of the season, there's like a catastrophic event during a State of the Union. The designated survivor is the person who doesn't go to the State of the Union in case the absolute worst happens. He absorbs the presidency because he's the highest in the line of succession that wasn't taken out. When you have an event where you have the president swearing in, as soon as he's finished his oath, he's the president of the United States and Joe Biden no longer is. Same thing with the vice president. And Mike Johnson will be at the inauguration. There's no way he wouldn't be. It goes, line of succession is Vice President, Speaker of the House, President Pro Tem, which is Chuck Grassley. I had to look that up. He is also turning 92 this year in September.
Okay.
Good for him.
Kind of a Kiefer Sutherland of his own.
Yep. Like lineage of. But, if I'm looking right now at the current Wikipedia list of line of succession, since Joe Biden is the president still, his cabinet is, of course, still in place. They are no longer in place after the new president swears in because Antony Blinken, who's the Secretary of State, is not the Secretary of State when Donald Trump becomes a president. It's going to be Marco Rubio, but not until they confirm him. I mean, they need to get on this. And I remember, and I think Ethan was highlighting this before when I was talking to him about this before the show, but I do remember when the Biden administration was sworn in, that I remember complaints that they weren't confirming the cabinet members fast enough. Seems kind of like a risky game to play.
Yeah, I mean, they did that to Trump in his first term, too.
The order of succession, just since we're talking about it, is, of course, Vice President, Speaker of the House, President Pro Tem. So the President of the Senate, this is just kind of nerdy constitutional stuff, but somebody highlighted me in a comment on X and wanted me to correct somebody because they were referring to Kamala Harris as President Harris when she was running the certification of the votes. They referred to her as President Harris, but she presides over that event, and she is the President of the Senate. So to refer to Kamala Harris as President Harris in that context is appropriate. as will be J.D. Vance when he is the president of the Senate, which is the position of the vice president to oversee that. And then you also get to serve as a tie-breaking vote. So 100 members of the United States Senate. If it goes 50-50, somebody has to break the vote. It is the vice president, and that will be J.D. Vance. And they do preside as the president of the Senate. So the president pro tempore of the Senate, that is something that gets elected out of the majority party, and it will now be Chuck Grassley. After that, it goes Secretary of State, which we presume will be Marco Rubio. Everybody was glowing about Marco Rubio in his. We didn't even cover it. They didn't cover it on the air on television as much. I think it was perceived as like such an obvious yes vote that people were like, just do the thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I was actually going over material for my weekend show, and I forgot that Marco Rubio was even a part of these confirmation hearings.
Yeah. I'm going to play here for you an exchange during this. It's only fair that I do this because I think I did the opposite. When my senator, Tammy Duckworth, was questioning Pete Hegseth, she was something else. And throughout that process, she was in the process of questioning Marco Rubio for the Secretary of State position, and this is the conversation they had.
I just want to say, Senator Rubio, I want to start off by noting for the record that when I first got to the Senate, and I was in my first year, and you just run for president, and I didn't think you would know who I was. I was pregnant with my daughter and trying to change Senate rules so that I could bring her onto the floor so I could do my job and vote, because I can't come through the normal back door to vote because there's stairs there and it's not accessible for wheelchairs. And I remember in the middle of that battle, rolling through the Senate floor to vote, and I heard, "Tammy Duckworth," from across the Senate chambers, and you came running down from the top back of the Senate chambers to tell me, "I'm with you, I will support you, you have the right to vote, and I will support you being able to bring your daughter, your child onto the floor when she's born." And I want to thank you for that kindness, because you did speak to your leadership about it. And it was a moment of true bipartisanship, but also as parents. And as someone who was new to the Senate, I was extremely grateful to you for that kindness.
I think what I exactly said is, what's the big deal? This place is already full of babies.
That's good stuff.
God, I love Marco Rubio. I think he's got a bright future, of course, as a Secretary of State, but I just think that there will be more.
I really like hearing those stories. I don't care if they're about Democrats or Republicans. When you hear, especially when it's Democrats talking about Republicans or vice versa.
You're a Democrat.
Then you know that it's real.
You're a senator.
Yeah. I like that stuff. And because a lot of people, when they get to power, are jerks. And so it's good to hear when they're not.
I found that to be endearing from Tammy Duckworth. I'm trying to be nice. I wasn't so nice about it earlier when she was questioning Pete Hegseth. But, Marco Rubio waiting to be sworn in, of course. I would like to see if anybody votes against him.
Yeah, me too.
Has there been any reports of any Democrats who have said no?
If anybody does, I'm just going to throw this out there. Adam Schiff. I don't know if he will. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's a question. Does Marco Rubio want Adam Schiff to vote for him?
I don't think Marco Rubio gives two rips.
I think Marco Rubio would enjoy Schiff being like, I'm going to vote no.
He probably would like it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like of any of the people who are up for confirmation for any of these nominations, that Marco Rubio is the most obvious. 100%. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Earlier when we were playing the Chad Pergram sound, and he was playing the clip from Kristi Noem. I don't know who the Democrat was that was questioning Kristi Noem in that moment, but I just found it ironic. And how many times have we had these ironic moments throughout these, and we will have more of them, I'm sure, where you have a Democrat going, Kristi Noem, whatever your title is, governor at this point. I was going to say head of the, no, you're actually governor right now.
Yeah.
Are you going to use FEMA money to withhold from your political opponents? Like, you would never do that like they're currently doing, right? They always leave off the part that they're actually doing that stuff now.
You only get away with that if the media parrots the narrative. You only get to say outrageously hypocritical, misleading things like that if there are enough people that echo the sentiment to make it seem like, good enough for me. You know, if you're consuming your news on TikTok in shorts, is there a time limit on how long a TikTok can be?
It's shorts, but I think 3 minutes is their max.
Is a TikTok post, is it a TikTok? I don't know why we even care. It's about to be irrelevant anyway.
That's the way I've always heard.
No idea.
That's the way I've always heard.
I would just call it a video. How about you?
Nice dramatic air quotes there. Dramatic. Dang it. I don't think that we're living in the same world today that we were certainly 4 years ago, where you can say outrageous things like Senator Whitehouse is like saying to Pam Bondi, you would say it's appropriate. Or, you would say it was inappropriate to find a name and then look for a crime. And he says it in that beat. And it would be correct to find the crime and then look for a name. And she kind of pauses, and you can tell she's like, is this real life?
Should I do this or not?
Yeah, and she did. She's like, you mean like they've been doing to Donald Trump this whole flipping time? Good for her. She's going to get past you. They're all going to get past.
It's just like this will happen. I almost guarantee it when they have Kash Patel up there for FBI. Something like that will come up again where they'll ask him, you're not going to use the FBI to go after political opponents, are you? Oh, you mean like the FBI does now? The FEMA thing was shocking. Like that, I didn't even know that happened today. I watched a good portion of the Kristi Noem hearing. Are you going to use FEMA money inappropriately? Would you divert it to areas that are more kind to you politically than others? I mean, that is provably happening right now.
Where would you ever get that idea? Oh.
I mean, come on, really.
YouTube live chat poll for today. What should happen with TikTok in America? Should it be banned? Should we leave it as it is? Or should we require American ownership to stay? A real quick comment here from Mike on Facebook, watching us on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. He said, how about they make it against the law for anyone to have access to your personal information on your phone? Here's the problem. Everybody is agreeing to provide that personal information on their phone in exchange for the service. This isn't something that is being done. You know the terms of service that you've never, ever read before? You're signing away when, I mean, even, I hate to say this, but even on Facebook, you got to dig deep into the settings on Facebook to take your information, to not let them use your information to sell you ads, to use outside information on your phone to sell you ads. And even to that extent, you're limited. Facebook looks at your pictures and determines what you like. That's not even words that you type into Facebook or that you say near your phone that has Facebook. I mean, the access that we just, I mean, the right word is ignorantly hand over to these companies to do these things, it's on us. If we don't want people taking our information to sell us things or to sell other things because of our information, we have the ability to not participate in the system, and it's all there in black and white in the fine print. I think it used to not be, and that might have been 5-10 years ago. It's there in black and white, and when you go through and read the terms of service, you'll go, holy cow, I didn't know any of this was happening, and then you won't delete the app. That's the crazy part about it. Let's take a quick break. Go vote in the YouTube poll. Leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'm guessing that our audience is not pro leave it as it is, but we'll have to wait and see. Let us know what you think. Be or not to be on the Annie Fry Show next. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the bagel loan. That's where you get the bagel loan. The bagel loan isn't anywhere other than Stewart's American Mortgage, so that when you call or you text message this number, you can say, hey, Annie said something about a bagel loan. Can you help me? And he will get right on it. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. That's the number to reach him directly. Okay, I've told you how to get a hold of him, and I told him what you're asking for, but why the bagel loan? Well, Stewie calls it a bagel loan because bagels look like zeros, and zeros help you remember that when you get your new mortgage, you're making your home purchase with the bagel loan, you will pay $0 in closing costs. If you want to refinance your mortgage, take some cash out of the mounting equity in your home, or potentially just lower the rate from the last couple years when they've been sky high, you can go through that process and pay $0 in closing costs. This becomes an obvious choice for your betterment when it comes to your mortgage payment. Reach out to them at 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team and get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007.
What should happen with TikTok in America? Should it be banned? Should we leave it as it is? Or should we require American ownership for it to stay in America? That's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. You can vote. We'll be talking about it all day. Let us know what you think. 1246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk encourages you to support Red Cross Disaster Relief. Visit redcross.org or text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Your gift enables the Red Cross to help people recover from disasters big and small. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The Bee or Not the Bee.
That's very, very, very good. Very good. Thank you very much for that introduction. This is the Bee or Not the Bee. These are stories that are either fake.
You're easily flattered.
I made the open, so I'm just thanking myself.
You did not make the open.
The
You
Wiggins
didn't.
America open?
You made the Wiggins part, and then I took that and I made the B open.
That was
we asked
very
you
aggressive.
to make the B
No,
open.
you didn't. I know that you didn't because that's Pink Floyd playing under it, and you wouldn't have done that.
That's not Pink Floyd.
Yes, it is. It's from Adam Hart Mother. I made that. Anyway.
The B.
Right.
The B. Babylon B. Fake news, all of it. I
So
made it.
These fake news. These are stories that are either fake or real, some from the Babylon Bee, some real. I'll read the headline. You got to tell me whether they are real or fake. Here's the first one. Bill Nye's Presidential Medal of Freedom revoked after old hate speech comes to light.
Believable. Real?
He just got this, remember? This Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Real?
I
No,
think
it wouldn't be revoked.
I think it's real.
It would be bigger news if it was revoked. I'm going the B.
You are correct. This is the B. I'll read it and you'll know why. Investigators unearthed an old hate speech in which the famous science guy claimed that a person's gender was determined by their chromosomes.
No, that's not the science.
There's an actual video of him on his show doing that. Bill's speech.
So the speech is real.
Yes.
But if it weren't Nye saying it, it would be hate speech.
Yes.
I got it. That's funny.
Yes. Bill's speech is not only hateful, but also profoundly unscientific. May he turn from his bigoted ways to the true path of science, said Press Secretary Corinne Jean-Pierre. Did I say Sean?
You did.
You did.
Yeah, let's
KSP.
In addition to losing his Presidential Medal of Freedom, Nye has been stripped of the title The Science Guy, which
he
will
is the science guy.
which will, along with his Medal of Freedom, be awarded to Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Little twist at the end there.
That's
All right.
the most realistic part, probably.
Next one. Trump announces plan to rename the moon Space America.
That's
B.
the B.
This is the B. Quote,
It's totally possible he would put that out there, though.
Yeah.
Completely, because it would make all the right people lose their ever-loving
It's
minds.
so true. It'll be just like America, but in space, Trump told reporters.
Can you hear Joy Behar being like, did you hear he wants to rename the moon now? It's like everybody's just laughing at
I
you.
could see her doing that based on this story from the Babylon Bee.
Let's make it happen.
It's going to be a big, beautiful extension of our amazing country. They all said we couldn't do it, but I told them no. It's going to be called Space America because we were the ones who landed on it first. Believe me, Putin was very jealous, very upset. But that's what happens when you lose the space race. Very sad, poor little losers. Should have tried harder during the Cold War.
These are the kind of things that we need to start plugging into Trump AI, and we
And
need to
making you
start
read it.
hearing him say these things.
This also says at publishing time, Buc-ee's, McDonald's, and Starbucks had all announced plans to open locations on Space America.
Did you say Walgreens?
No, Buc-ee's, McDonald's, and Starbucks.
Oh, I was going to say, if it's Walgreens, there'd be a CVS coming right around the literal corner.
Yeah, on the dark side.
Yeah.
Next one.
Is everything about Pink Floyd with you?
Today it is.
Those are the only two things I know about the Pink Floyd.
Build the wall.
Oh, I know that too.
Thank you.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah, you already knew that. You don't need no education. Washington Post drops
That sounds like another one, but I'm not 100% sure.
Don't worry.
Real.
Washington Post drops democracy dies in darkness motto for exciting new phrase.
Oh, boy.
Riveting storytelling for all Americans.
B.
Jeez. Real.
I'm going to say real as well.
This is real.
Oh, crap.
This
Andy's
is
struggling.
real.
Say it again. Oh, I'm struggling
Washington
every day.
Post has I'll just read the story. The democracy dies in darkness shtick began in 2017 as a not-so-subtle dig at President Trump.
Know that was a 2017 thing. I thought that was like the what is the Wall Street Journal is like or maybe it's New York Times, something's like the paper of record. What is their slogan? I thought these are things that were like as old as time. Democracy dies in darkness is just a Trump thing?
It just started in 2017.
He's so
It was a
powerful.
shot at Trump.
And he's back and they changed it to what?
They changed it to riveting storytelling for all Americans.
Well, it's very compelling.
Yep, this comes after Washington Post parted ways with Taylor Lorenz and Jennifer Rubin.
For all Americans, who owns the Washington Post?
Jeff Bezos.
Who's going to the inauguration?
Jeff Bezos.
Cheers.
He donated to the inauguration.
I guess democracy.
Did he
grows.
really? I didn't know about that.
Yes, he did. I think it was $1 million.
Boy.
There is a meme.
Like
Elon
100th of
Musk-
his total owning.
I just retweeted this.
Pocket
I just
change.
reposted this since I'm telling a story about Elon Musk yesterday. But Elon Musk tweeted out a picture of a meme of the Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends?
I saw that
about
too.
Bezos.
Was it an older picture of them too? Is that the one?
It
because
was
that
just,
was making the rounds
no,
too.
it was just the meme.
It was like a GIF.
Did we just become best friends
Oh,
from Step
about
Brothers?
Bezos.
And he was
Okay.
like
And he tagged Bezos.
completely talking about the Elon Musk Bezos relationship.
Because there's an old picture that was going around too of Bezos and Elon Musk from who knows the late 90s.
Yeah.
What?
Strange bedfellows.
Yeah. All right.
Democracy dies in darkness.
Joe Biden. Isn't that funny
Ooh,
that
if that's
real?
available, should we use it?
Yeah, we should just go ahead and grab
The
that.
Annie Fry Show. Democracy dies in darkness. Or something.
The liners are being written right now.
Please do.
Joe Biden sets presidential record by commuting another 2,500 prison sentences.
Real?
Real.
I'm going to go with the B.
This is real. In his continuous effort to destroy the country as much as possible on his way out the door, Biden has released another 2,500 drug addicts and drug dealers onto America's streets. This part is that was from Not the Bee. This is from CNN. The clemency decision will benefit federal prisoners convicted of just crack cocaine-related crimes. So that's the focus here. Who've been serving disproportionately long sentences compared to those convicted of powder cocaine offenses, reflecting changes in the law aimed at reducing racial disparities.
So this totally has to do with like war on, like some sort of like clapback at the war on drugs, right?
It's all based on how you got arrested and what kind of crack.
Exactly. That's what the war on drugs was.
And
Well, Trump
apparently
already undid the war on drugs. Those his Second Chance Act or whatever it was pretty dramatic because Clinton is the one who put the 3 strikes and you're out policy in place, and Trump went hard on that.
25. I didn't know
With the
that
help
you could
of
do 2,500 prison
Kim
sentences.
Kardashian. Yeah. The next Clemency and Pardon Act is going to be for anybody named George. That's just how he's doing
it's
this.
just like so
a blanket.
broad. Yeah.
The broad nature of
Do
the
you
way
think-
he's throwing these out there.
Do you think that there's truly, whether it's from his administration or him, do you think there is truly like some like level of like doing this for spite, or do you think that he actually?
I don't think he
believes
knows
in
what he's doing. I think if his ink is on the paper, it's because
Someone's
someone
telling
put
him
it
to
in
sign
front of him.
something.
Yeah.
It's Hunter going, I need a permission slip to go to.
I mean, really? Yeah, it's only related to crack and cocaine. I mean, it's hitting pretty close to home. All right. Firefighters hang crying Jimmy Kimmel from helicopter to drop tears on wildfire.
Real.
The picture might be Photoshopped, but there is a picture.
The bee.
It says, yeah, it's the bee. Authorities say Kimmel's tears are the most effective flame suppressant they've ever seen. Quote, I wish we'd thought of this sooner, said one firefighter. It turns out we all had the resources we needed to fight these fires the whole time. Maybe that's why Gavin Newsom didn't store any water in reservoirs. He knew he had Jimmy Kimmel.
What a loser.
That's a great
I
one.
know. The fact that he's known as somebody who cries over politics now
Jimmy
is
Fallon could completely come out ahead in all of this if he chose to. Jimmy Kimmel is the biggest whiny witch there's ever been, and Seth Meyers just looks like he's about ready to snap.
Oh man, doesn't he? I don't
And
know
he
what
always
happened.
has. That's always been his kind of his
I don't know.
thing.
When he was on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, I never really thought he looked angry. He seemed kind of, a little edgy. But now I can't watch him without thinking, man, what's going to happen here? Are you going to lose it?
They all suck. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, speaking of major developments in the late night Fox News show, has to do with you.
What?
Ryan Wiggins.
Oh, I'm interested now.
1 o'clock hour or 2 o'clock hour?
Immediately.
We'll see. Will Kane next on the Annie Fry Show.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business. So the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
I've just been feeling so sluggish lately. You should try the Metamucil 2-Week Challenge. The Metamucil 2-Week Challenge? Yeah, Metamucil 4-in-1 Fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Start your daily routine now, and in 2 weeks, you could be feeling great. Well, it's been 2 weeks. How you feeling? Lighter and feeling great.
If you want to feel lighter by promoting digestive health, sign up to take the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
TikTok can be banned in the U.S. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That bottom line from the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously upholding a federal law that requires the platform's Chinese parent company to sell it to avoid a ban. The White House says TikTok should remain available to Americans, but under different ownership that addresses national security concerns. And President Biden says the next administration will act on TikTok. President-elect Trump says he needs time to review the situation, but the TikTok CEO sounds optimistic.
I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States.
Shozi Chu posting a video reacting to the Supreme Court decision. The president-elect confirming TikTok was one of the topics in a phone call with China's president earlier today. It's not clear if anything will happen before Sunday's deadline to avoid a ban. Billionaire entrepreneur Frank McCourt, who's already made an offer to buy the platform, tells Fox Business.
Now's the time to shift gears into deal mode. Keep this app lit up. There is a path forward for President Trump to do that.
McCourt says he and investor Kevin O'Leary would meet the criteria for a 90-day extension allowed under the federal law. For the first time in decades, the presidential inauguration will happen indoors because of extreme cold.
President-elect Trump, in a social media post, says the wind chill factors forecasted to fall to the single digits make for dangerous conditions for the tens of thousands of first responders and hundreds of thousands of supporters. He says he's ordered the inauguration, including prayers and speeches, to be delivered inside from the Capitol Rotunda. The Capital One Arena in Washington will also open for live viewing of the ceremony, and the president-elect says he'll join the crowd there after his swearing in.
Fox's Jared Halpern, Ohio's Republican governor, just appointing his Lieutenant Governor John Husted to fill the vice president-elect's vacant Senate seat. America is listening to Fox News.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Increasing clouds going through our Friday afternoon. 48 for the high. Tonight, periods of rain, especially during the evening. Maybe a sloppy, wet snowflake late night. 26 for the low. By the time we get below freezing, the moisture is gone. Saturday, partly sunny, windy, temperatures holding in the 20s. If anything, we go down a little bit. Sunday, sunny and 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I do appreciate all the referrals that we receive daily. It is phenomenal. I've said it. I can't say it enough how much I do appreciate the referrals. With that being said, if you do refer me, you're in great hands. I will not sell homeowners that work hard for their money, just like myself, crap that they do not need. But if you want good quality, man, you can't even say cheap anymore. I don't think I can even say cheap by the... You can't even go by price. Okay, that's another commercial. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Remember, it's the only number, Missouri and Illinois, 314 293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Financial health is more than just really the investments. You have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 7 a.m., right here on KFTK.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
It also is jarring, I think, for the senators to finally have a different generation to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. The age difference of the senators and the nominees is quite stark and noticeable, and the energy level is right there.
Dana Perino highlighting something that I've been paying close attention to. I'm on that old elder millennial side of the generational breakdown here, but seeing people, even J.D. Vance is like a month younger than me or something like that. We've gone from watching Joe Biden muddle through this presidency to now seeing this cabinet see confirmation hearing after confirmation hearing with people that are don't just look like an entirely different generation. They represent an entirely different generation. And we are just a couple short days away from watching the remaking of America, hopefully back to what it was supposed to be. I'm excited to bring on our next guest, Will Kane. You know him as host of The Will Kane Show here on 97.1 FM Talk from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., but also very exciting to forward the information to you that The Will Kane Show will now debut on Fox News at 3 p.m. Central Time starting January 21st. Will, thank you for the time today. A lot of news going on, and we appreciate you squeezing in some time here for our audience.
You bet, Annie. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So I want to give you the opportunity to reflect a little bit on the cabinet nominees and the confirmation hearings as they've been happening so far. You know some of these people very personally. Your thoughts on Trump's nominees and the hearing process as it has laid out so far?
Well, I was just listening to you coming in, and I guess I haven't really fully internalized how much this is a generational shift in the people that run America. Because at the top we have, again, Donald Trump. And, of course, Trump is 78 years old. But underneath him, the people that he's chosen to lead with him are yeah, a real step down, a real shift, a real change in the generation. I'm Gen X. I heard you say you're an older millennial.
Yeah.
I'm Gen X. We're the forgotten generation, but it's kind of our time as well in a way. But you look across the board. You know, Michael Waltz, probably Gen X like me. Sean Duffy, Gen X like me. Pete Hegseth, an older millennial like you. All across the board, you're looking at a generational shift in who leads America.
I mean, I think that matters, too. We've seen, I was looking through the line of succession just before the show started, and the president pro tem is going to be Chuck Grassley. I had to look that up. I mean, the Republicans have some older folks in there. He's 90, almost 92 this year, I think. Gen X, talk to me a little bit about that. I hear a lot of Gen Xers kind of coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden to say, hey, we're going to actually have a very vocal say in what happens next. Why is it important to have younger leadership?
Because I think you're more in touch with the direction of the future of the country. I'll give you two. So I just saw the news of Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run for governor of Ohio. That is a complete generational shift. When you look, and Ron DeSantis is in the same range. So in that older millennial Gen X range. So we're just seeing the turnover. Pete Hegseth. So here's a great example. So Pete, I mean, even visually looks different than the people who have run the Department of Defense for really most of the past half century, right?
Yes.
But it's not just like, oh, you look young. Pete has fought the last two wars that America's fought, Iraq and Afghanistan. He's in touch with the issues that have confronted war fighters for the past 2 decades. And he's therefore more in touch with the issues that are more immediate in the direction of America. And I think it's good. It's time. It's time for a fresh set of voices.
We're speaking with Will Kane, host of The Will Kane Show on 97.1 FM Talk, starting at 8 p.m. each night, but also going to be on Fox News. We get off the air here at 3 p.m., and you're going to be taking it up on the Fox News channel at 3 p.m. starting January 21st, which is very exciting. I'm glad you mentioned that about Pete Hegseth because, Will, I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened, and the way I often phrase that, I was as old as you can be as a kid and as young as you can be as an adult, and seeing something like that happen when you understand the gravity of it, but you are still clinging to what little bit of youth you have left. I always remind people when there was trashing of the millennials for a long time, that those millennials are the ones who signed up to fight with the understanding of what terrorism was post 9/11 attacks. And Pete Hegseth, man, watching him champion these people who I have personally in my life who have fought in Afghanistan, fought in the Middle East, and gone back again and again and again, and then watched what Joe Biden did to pull out there. It is good to see him restore the integrity to the military members to fight and say war fighter, because that's what these people are. How quickly will you see his implementation of what he wants to do as the Secretary of Defense? How quickly will the military reflect his goal for them?
I think it already has started. I think it started with his nomination. You're seeing recruitment numbers already go up. The United States military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they've all declined or not been able to achieve their recruiting numbers for years upon years upon years, including, by the way, things they're not capable of doing is hitting audits years upon years upon years. We already know that recruiting numbers have spiked with Pete coming in. I've known Pete a long time, like a decade, and I sat next to him for 5 years on the couch at Fox and Friends. And look, I mean, he's my friend, and I own that bias, but I try to be a self-aware person. And, you know, I don't know. I don't feel weird saying this about another man or one of my friends. Like he inspires me in that when I look back on my life, it's one of the regrets of my life that I didn't serve the United States military. And if he makes me feel that way, imagine how many other people younger and still in the age demographic to serve, he can inspire to feel that way while they can still do that. And I think that they will. And then beyond that, I think he's going to cut out the DEI woke. He's going to make it meritorious from day one. The thing about it is, like, why he hit a home run, Annie? He hit a home run, right? Grand slam in that hearing.
Yes.
And why is because he knows what he believes. Like, he knows it. It's not rote. It's not memorization. It's not like a script. He knows it. And he knows the focus of the United States military. And that means he will be quickly capable of focusing the United States military on being lethal and winning wars.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing him saying at one point during his confirmation hearing that the purpose is to deter war when we can and to win wars when we can't. And Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing on the whole, he kept saying things that just my gut reaction was, oh, we don't talk like that anymore. And then he just goes full-fledged into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk more like this. We need more of this. The culture shift, it really is moving through Pete Hegseth and his commitment to Donald Trump's America First mentality.
I think it's funny that you said, ooh, we don't talk like this anymore. And you're right, though, because, I don't know, politicians, and you would include the Secretary of Defense as a politician, they're used to word salad. They play defense. They run afraid. Like, let me make sure I don't say anything that's going to turn you off or lose a vote or whatever it may be. Instead of speaking clearly and authoritatively with, like, this is my vision, this is who I am, and articulate that so strongly. And you're right. Like, it is like, ooh, we don't hear that very often. How awesome it is when we do hear it.
Yeah, and I'm just gearing up for 4 more years of America First with zero fear. No trembling in the voice whatsoever. Pete Hegseth has been a wonderful example of that. Before we let you go, we appreciate your time today. Will Kane with us right now. Talk to us about we're here Central Time, so it'll be a 3 p.m. Central Time for the majority of our listeners. What's the Will Kane Show on Fox News Channel going to look like for viewers?
It's going to be 3 p.m. for me as well, Annie, because the show's going to be based out of Dallas, Texas,
Perfect.
Where I am from, where I live. Yeah. And that's, of course, in part because that's me and who I am. And I'm so excited, by the way, so grateful that Fox has said, we want to do the Will Kane Show, because they've said, we want you to do you, who you are. And I have one currency in this world, and that includes professionally, and that's authenticity. I just have to be real. I have to be who I am. And I it's what I value when I see it in other people as well. Like, if we can start with real, then we can get to the truth. So it's a process. This show is a truth-seeking process. It'll be casual and professional. It'll be immediate and news-breaking, but it will be deep and analytical. It'll be fun, but it will also be serious when it needs to be. I want to have voices in that disagree with me, because I believe that finding the truth is a process. I'm not Walter Cronkite. I don't believe in the idea that you sit behind a desk and now that you have a tie on and a microphone, you're the voice of God. But I know what I believe strongly, and I'm going to share that. And through that entire process, I hope that we can be something that is a breath of fresh air in the media, which is an authentic voice seeking the truth.
Well, we're excited to take that in, Will Kane, and for you to have been a part of the 97.1 family here at 8 p.m. on our station. And so congratulations to you. We will be tuning in for sure. And thank you for some time today on a Friday afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, debuting on Fox News Channel January 21st, the day after the Inauguration Day, and also, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, starting at 3 p.m. our time. Very cool. Glad to have him on the show. And he does know Pete Hegseth very, very well and has been a staunch defender of his. The thing about specifically Pete's confirmation hearing, and if you're going to hear different speak when it comes to the person who wants to be the Secretary of Defense, these are people who know things about the world. The real, raw, disgusting, deplorable, depraved things that take place in the world. They're the ones who have to keep that from coming to our shores. They have to keep that at bay. And there are so many people, Gen Xers, millennials, who have taken up the fight in the wake of the boomers who did that in various wars during their time. They answered the call, they showed up. And of course, the greatest generation that protected us during world wars from Nazi dictators. And I'm talking about like the real kinds of Nazi dictators. It's refreshing to see Pete Hegseth and the way he speaks. It's one of the first times that I've really seen a true defense of the people who come from my time, or maybe a little bit before my time, who have gone out and fought with the American flag on their sleeve or with the American flag in their heart because they were called to duty. Pete Hegseth represents that to me. And, it does make a difference, I think, when you see somebody who has seen the things that your peers have seen. It doesn't make it any less valuable when the person doing that is of a different generation, of course. But when you do see it yourself, I think it does. I think it strikes a different chord. I made the same comment, when we talk about representation mattering. I think it was when Nikki Haley was running in the primary. And, of course, Kamala Harris eventually down the line, but the Nikki Haley thing was taking place when Joe Biden was still the Democratic nominee. Nikki Haley was running for president, and my probably then 7-year-old, maybe 8-year-old at the time, looked at me and said, "Mom, can girls be president too?" And I just looked at her and said, "They sure can." And then it was like, oh. It just sparked the question in her mind. She probably had never, ever before had the thought in her mind, well, I guess only boys can be president. But it wasn't until she saw a female making the case as to why she should be the president that it occurred to her that, oh, yeah, girls can do that too. And then after that, I think she probably went on to like do her hair or something. It was not like it was life-changing and now she's trying to take over the world as an 8-year-old. It's not that dramatic. But when you see representation, that matters. I think the follow-up question was, Mommy, do you want her to be the president? And my answer was likely more than I want Joe Biden to be the president. And that might have been it because I don't tend to talk politics with my especially younger children too much. Representation, people, it's kind of like the really sad ending to DEI because, folks, I think DEI is ending. The mentality that all people should be included in conversations of being able to participate in, offices, boardrooms, businesses, places where you hold office. Like, of course. It's not so much, you can't really force inclusion, but you can try to eliminate exclusion. Isn't there a difference when you open up the opportunity to everybody and then have an open mind about who the best person is for the position? I don't really know of any places that are exclusionary in who they're willing to hire. My experiences have been they want the best. I'm a female. I work in a predominantly male industry. I don't think that I've ever been held back because I'm female. I worked in sports radio before I worked in news talk radio. That is simply and solely anecdotal. It's not a scientific study on the issue. But I think the idea is that we want to hire people into positions where their goal is always to hire the best for the company, because the best for the company, regardless of race, color, creed, any of that stuff, is going to ultimately help the bottom line of said company, which means you should never exclude in those hiring practices because you might leave the best on the other side of the door. And it's one of the great ironies that the effort for inclusion required the exclusion of people who were not deemed reasonable to apply. And that's going away. It's good to see a diverse group of people in any situation, but never because of the exclusion of other people. Never because you told other people you need not apply. And I think we're getting to the right balance of that, God willing, on the other side of Monday. A quick break. When we come back, we'll get Ryan Wiggins in studio, including next question. We want to know what you would like to hear us answer. We've got a few questions ourselves, and you can participate in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. Thank you to Will Kane for joining us. And you can check that interview on the podcast if you so choose. Ask us anything. Next question, next on the Annie Frey Show.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group is welcoming you back to the December Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Thursday, January 30th. I can't wait to see you there. I show up to these. I get there at about 6 o'clock and I stay until 6:30 is when the event starts. We hand it over to Bob and Tammy Kershaw, to Thomas Helbig for this free event, and then they spend maybe 45 minutes talking to you about your retirement. Whether you are just right on the cusp of moving into retirement, maybe you just have you made the smart moves you need to make to protect that retirement? The event is free, and we spend about 30, 40 minutes there, starting at 6 o'clock, trying to get to meet each and every one of you, Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and myself, but you got to reserve your spot. Reach out to them at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494, and talk to them about reserving your spot. Bring a friend, bring a couple friends with you, and enjoy the snacks. They're free, too, as well. But it's at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, January 30th. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9-million.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them, to see someone that is in pain. I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Level up the comfort of your home this winter with either free attic insulation or an air scrubber. With a new HVAC system installation from Air Comfort Service. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, I'm heading to the desert, but I've left the Reardon Roundtable in good hands. Mike Elam will pinch hit. It all starts at 3.
The Mark Reardon Show, weekdays from 3 to 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Waiting for the time to pass you by. Hope the winds of change will change your mind.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Make it on your own, but we don't have to grow up. We can stay forever young. Living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun. I could give 1,000 reasons why.
Next question. It's a legitimate question. Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I was just listening to something on the way in here, and it was Kamala Harris talking about, it's kind of like a wrap-up thing with maybe some staff, and it was videoed or whatever. And she was like, we don't need to list all of our accomplishments. We've done that. We've spent so much time together. And after every completion of a thought, she laughed.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought, hand to God, thank you, Jesus. It just, oh man, I forget how abrasive that was and would have been, and we don't have to deal with it. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, the problem with it is that everybody knows that that's a crutch, and that's okay, but if you're the vice president of the United States, you just need to be able to communicate a little more effectively.
It's not okay to have such public crutches as the president of the United States.
That's what I mean, is everybody's got these things, but man, when you're the vice president, you've got to get through it.
My first question, what is Donald Trump's biggest weakness crutch?
Policy, like speaking-wise or anything?
Well, where is his greatest weakness? Because thinking about this, most of his weaknesses he's made into strengths. I took a screenshot of his True Social post where he was going through he's like, do me a favor, don't send me your people like Bird Brain and Nikki Haley and all these things. I think that his name calling might be his biggest crutch, but I just don't know if it matters anymore because he won.
Yeah, that's kind of the spot we're in. Like, because he won, ... A lot of that stuff doesn't matter as much, but it does matter to how he's going to govern for the next 4 years. I would say his biggest crutch or his Achilles heel is
And again, this also has its positives, though, is his ego. But it's concerning things like crowd size and stuff that doesn't really matter, popularity, that his enemies, and we saw this during the debates and when people go up against him, they'll throw that out there as bait, and he will take it every time. So I would say that's a crutch for him because it's so obvious.
Just to interject here, Eric Schmidt on X said this was a big week for confirmation hearings, and the inauguration of real Donald Trump is just a few days away. On a plane, shoot me your questions. So I DM'd him and said, how quickly do you think we'll see confirmations? And then he wrote back, landing in 20. Want me to call in? And he also tweeted out a picture with Donald Trump, RFK Jr., and somebody else who I can't remember because I'm not on this page right now. So do we want him to call in?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we do. We'll just tell him, like, when I'm going to DM him back and say, well, whenever you're ready.
He's sitting with these people?
He's on Trump Force One, I think. His picture is RFK Jr. Is it maybe Senator Mark? Is it
Mark Wayne Mullet?
Something like that?
Something like that?
He's the MMA looking dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. From Oklahoma.
Oh, yes, please. Okay. Trump's biggest crutch, maybe they're listening right now. I think he's great. I think he's perfect. I think he's flawless. And like I said, none of it matters because he won.
Yeah. Mr. Trump, if this is your first exposure to the Andy Fry Show.
I'm like literally my heart's starting to beat faster.
We're big fans. We've been with you since 2015. We want you to know that. We're glad to be on the airplane with you now.
Brad?
He's perfect. He's great. He's amazing. I don't know. I can't dig into like too much like personality wise because I don't really know him. So I only know the persona that is Donald Trump. And a lot of the stuff that I found like abrasive initially has kind of become endearing to me. And like even like his rhetoric, the way he uses the words like huge and bigly, I like that now. Like before, it's like, I didn't really like that. But when you listen to it, it's a style, and it's something that's only Donald Trump. So it's really hard for me to answer that question.
Here, I'll answer it one more way, just in case. I want to see a president who is super, super, super fiscally conservative.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is of paramount concern to the nation, the future of the nation.
To the guy who's like Doge? I mean,
you know what? I mean, that's very true. That's very true.
We're in our early 40s. We've never seen government get smaller.
And this is the time. This 100 days. I think they know that.
We've talked about this many times before, like pre this election cycle, when we're talking with Steve Moore every Monday, when we're having conversations about the economy. It's like, oh, all these big government Democrats, blah, blah, blah. We're like, well, what about the big government Republicans? I.e. swamp, i.e. drain it.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Well, it's not as good as that one, but...
he's not listening. Don't.
I'm not.
He's not listening.
When you're seeking out movies, you sit down at night to finally watch something. Is there a particular genre of movie that you seek out?
Man, movies, no. I usually look for TV shows.
Okay.
And this is going to sound
same question, though.
Like everybody's going to go, whenever I say this, but I like to find good anime TV shows because I think that there's really good storytelling in them, and they touch on topics that aren't usually touched on. But everybody just went, he's a weeb right now, so.
He's a what?
A weeb.
No, I don't think we did do that.
Is weeb a used word in anime?
No, it's a
I don't know what that is.
It's a word used to describe people who are like huge anime fans. I don't go to the conventions. I'm very selective about which ones I watch.
I flew with the furry ones.
But
that's documented.
And
is
that's
that the same?
And that's where I'm going with this.
It's the same exact thing as watching
They do
anime.
conventions the same. It's just a TV show, and the medium of telling it is having it animated versus having actual physical actors.
It's just a lifestyle, Ryan. Relax.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about it.
No, he watches anime. What do you watch?
Thrillers.
Thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dance?
No.
I am, if I'm not, okay, let's see. I sit down, and it is the God's honest truth. You can ask my kids. Okay. one time, I think it was maybe around Mother's Day, your little kids sit down with like a teacher or a parent helper, and they fill out it's almost like a Mad Lib about you or whatever. Tell me 3 things your mom loves. And it was like, they said salads, Fox News, and me. And I'm like, I don't even like salads.
I didn't know if you did. I was like, okay.
Well, I eat a lot of salads because I always try to stay healthy, so I'm always eating salads, and I don't love them. It's a labor of necessity, not love. But the 3 things my kids said I love: salads, Fox News, and me. At least they thought they were included at the same level as salads and Fox News.
Well, I'm glad to know that your kids are on the same level as Fox News.
Rude. If I sit down at night, I'm watching Jesse Waters. I will try to watch Gutfeld too. It kind of depends on the timing since it's bedtime usually. So we're trying to. It's harder to watch Gutfeld on DVR because it happens later. Like that's what I would be watching live. So sometimes my kids will watch it with me, but I can't always watch it with my kids. Just gonna be honest. If I'm watching a movie, it's probably just it's anything I've seen before and enjoy. I'm never watching anything new.
You're never watching new movies?
Not if I'm just sitting down in the middle of the night, or in the evening. There's no way that I'm going to be able to watch that movie uninterrupted. I need to be able to come in the middle of A Few Good Men, and I'm just waiting for your gosh darn right I did.
I don't think that's a direct quote.
It isn't.
Okay.
The direct quote is FCC non-compliant.
Man.
Did you order the Code Red? You're gosh darn right I did.
Did you see somebody replaced Jack Nicholson with Pete Hegseth's face?
Oh, no,
from that scene? It's pretty good.
Pete Hegseth could be a young Jack Nicholson if he really wanted to.
Well. Here we are.
So I'm watching something that I know and that I'm comfortable with, so that when it's something I like, is familiar, and when I jump into the middle of it, it feels like I didn't miss anything, and when I leave and don't see the ending, I won't wonder what happened.
I'm going to throw out a streaming suggestion just because we're talking about it. There's a movie it's Nicolas Cage movie. You've probably seen it, more people have seen it than have not. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Is
this a biography?
It is it's Nicolas Cage. It was like I was reading the script about my life.
Oh, I think I've actually heard about that.
They've memed that one.
It is such a good movie.
Is that the one with the Mandalorian guy in it?
Yeah. Pedro Pascal.
Where Nicolas Cage is sitting in there being serious, and Pedro Pascal's having the time of his life.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar. That's good?
It's so good because they're taking a lot of chances with a movie, and a lot of times that doesn't pay off, but in this one it does.
Movie or show?
Movie. It was made just in 2022, so it's not that old. And about halfway through the movie, it's so wild because you're watching a movie and it keeps changing genres where you're like, what is happening? About halfway through, you realize that those 2 characters are writing a movie, and you might be watching the movie they're writing.
What was that show about? And Joey was in it, Joey Tribbiani, but the real actor's name is Matt LeBlanc. He was in a show that was about Matt LeBlanc as an actor. And Matt LeBlanc was starring in a show.
He was playing himself?
Yes. And it was...
I don't know what this is, but it sounds
probably not
familiar.
something that you watch with your kids, but I enjoyed it. I remember that. And it was like British. It was a British show.
Huh. No, I don't know what it is then.
Next question, Brad?
Yeah, so along those movie lines, is there a movie that you associate with a certain event or big time in your life, and did it change how you view that movie? So, like, feel great about it, and every time you watch a movie, it recalls those things?
Do you have an example?
I do.
Why don't you go first?
Okay, so the last movie, the night that I had my heart attack, I had taken the youth group to see Marvel's Avengers, and being a Marvel...
Avengers, which was that the first
Avengers movie. And as a Marvel fan, I loved it. That was kind of like the culmination of everything that I was hoping of, and it was great, and I loved it, and I was always looking forward to it. To this day, I cannot watch that movie because it just reminds me of what had happened that night, and I can't do it anymore, which is really weird because I love all of the other movies.
Yeah, you can understand the association. It's probably just PTSD from it.
The question is a movie you can't watch?
What? No. It affects you significantly, and it changed how you saw the movie. Like, you associate that movie with a certain event in your life.
Ooh, man.
And it doesn't have to be negative. It can be a positive event as well.
This is so lame, but I remember sitting and watching Billy Madison when I was 14.
Go on.
And saying, this movie's changing my young life right now. I never thought you could make a joke where in one scene a guy is completely engulfed in flames and the next he's just fine. I couldn't believe it. I don't know that's what you're looking for out of this question.
Now, going back and watching that movie again, do you think about that time?
Yes,
and
I
how
do.
has that changed your?
I do. I still think about being in my parents' house on the living room floor.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
14 years old, going, what's happening right now? This is amazing.
I once had my kid ask me what's the difference between shampoo and conditioner?
Oh, great.
And I explained it without the shampoo is better, without saying it like that. And they were completely satisfied with their responses. I found that to be wonderful.
You make the hair silky and smooth.
Yeah, it's weird. I was chuckling while I was doing it. They didn't understand why the explanation was funny, and I didn't tell them. I don't know. I'm not really a movie.
It's tough.
A
it's
movie
a tough
person.
question.
I'll tell you a song that affected me. The "As I Lay Me Down," which is that what's her face sang it in the 1996
I know the song.
or 7, whatever.
I can't.
Sophie
think of
D.
the
Hawkins.
artist. Yes.
I had that on in my Discman on my way up to Chicago in March of 1997, and my whole family got into a car accident, and our minivan was going 65 miles an hour north on 55, and we got into an accident. The semi-truck drivers that pulled over to help pull us out of the car and stuff said we probably rolled 6 to 9 times going up the highway, and that song was in my headphones when I played it or when that happened, and so when I hear that song, I think of that. I still listen to the song, but it's kind of I think songs are probably more accessible in that type of a situation than movies, maybe on the whole. But let's take a quick break. We'll take more questions when we come back. We are also looking to connect to Eric Schmidt, maybe in the 2 o'clock hour or whenever he gives us a call. We're going to put him on the show as he is saying that votes will start next week in earnest. Will take weeks. We'll get a little bit more information from Senator Eric Schmidt when he gives us a call and take more of your questions when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
The Lutheran education system has blessed my family. I know a lot of you are very supportive of the idea of school choice, and I'm very encouraging of the idea of us coming together and helping when we can and not waiting for the government to finally get it right and provide us parents the resources we need with our own tax dollars to fund our children's education the way we want to. A Lutheran education, it instills an environment, a culture around your child on the standards that you are instilling at home. That is so important when you are building this little life to be able to go out into the world to be foundationally sound in the important things that matter to you. I am so privileged to be able to have a scholarship that we are establishing. Yesterday, you can go to the Annie Fry Show podcast and listen to Amy and Libby talk about the scholarship that we're establishing. But we have the very, very tall order of trying to raise $15,000 to establish an Annie Fry Show scholarship that will be endowed and become a gift that keeps on giving. I need your help. Will you consider donating anything that you can? If Lutheran education has ever touched your life, if you've ever been a part of it, be a part of this opportunity to provide a choice to a family to access an affordable Lutheran education. Here's where you go to donate. It's Lisa with an E, Lesa, STL.org/Annie. That's Lisa with an E, STL.org/Annie.
Bill Walmsley interviews Chad and Lisa.
This property, for you to have done what you've done, won the award, changed it around, done all the rehab, has got to be worth a lot more.
We purchased for $8.275, and it's worth $19 million now. So
Wait, whoa. That is incredible. I can see why you won an award, and that's great.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007 for a $297 membership. Save $443 off the regular price. Text radio to 88007.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
What should happen with TikTok in America? This is big news today, of course, based on the Supreme Court ruling. Should it be banned? We leave it as it is? Or should American ownership be required for it to stay around? That's today's YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think, as so many others have done so far. And leave a comment while you're on the live stream. 1:45, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more. This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've been doing our Friday Ask Us Anything, where we talk about whatever you want to ask us. You send us your questions on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and we will go through those one at a time and getting to the next question now. I've got one for you guys. Would your spouse appreciate you more, and or would you appreciate your spouse more if you shadowed them for a day doing your job or their job? How much does your spouse know about your daily life versus how much you know about theirs?
I think I know her schedule a little bit more because her schedule involves our kids. So once I leave the house, she doesn't have any idea what I'm doing at work. But I know a little bit more about what she's doing because
you might know where she is, but do you know what she's doing and
what
it takes to do her job?
At any given moment, I don't know, but I know where she's at, but I don't know what she's teaching.
Like that's the thing here, though. Like you're talking about her as a wife and a parent and her location, because you need to know. Like I know on a regular day, I can call my husband at this time or this time or this time because he's got prep period or he's in passing or whatever, lunch. I do not know professionally what my husband has to do minute by minute in order to do his job well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he does his job well. He's been named the department chair or whatever of his department, and I know that he has had success in being an educator. But sometimes the stories I hear about what students that he has have to deal with and just the complications, it makes me think like, I know for a fact I could not do what he does.
Mm-hmm. I think my wife and I would both equally learn about each other's jobs if we shadowed each other for a day. Because I think we both generally understand what each other does, but seeing it in action is different.
Who has to work harder?
She does. She does because she has to think more about everything going on because she's with the kids than I do. Like she just has more on her plate.
Your children or students?
Everything. Like she has to.
I'm talking professionally.
Just professionally?
Yeah.
I still think she does because she has to prep more. I mean, I have to do a lot of prep here, but it's like news. We have to pay attention to the news. And when I'm hosting, I have to craft a show differently, which I respect that you have to do every day. I come in here and react. So in that sense, I don't have to prep that. I just have to know what's going on.
What do you think, Brad?
My wife is very curious about what I do because it's really hard to explain what a producer does on a radio show outside of it's an apropos title, produce the show. But I think that she would have a better understanding of it. But my wife is an amazing person, and I don't know what I could do to make her respect me more. And I had a ton of things that I know that I could do to make her respect me less, but she is such a great person in that sense. And then like to know what she does on a daily basis, I have a small idea because I was a substitute teacher and I was a substitute teacher at her school. I never substituted her class, so I never got to meet her students or get a good feel for what her class was like. But to your point, to know what the kids go through, to be on top of everything that goes there, to understand that you're responsible for those 25 to 30 kids each day, each hour, new group of kids, that their education, their safety, and their well-being is your responsibility, that's way more difficult than what I do here on the show.
Jared would have a good idea of what I do every day because he did TV radio before he became a teacher. I think what people wouldn't understand, because there's nothing about what we do that is really adjacent to normal life. It's a very weird thing. I was a pharmacy technician for a while, and I gained so much knowledge about pharmaceuticals, different prescriptions, generic names of, medicines that really do the exact same thing as the name brands, insurance situations that people have. And when I quit working in a pharmacy, it was like 6 months, and all of that just went away because nothing that I did there was normal people stuff. It was super industry-related stuff. I think what we do on a regular basis here is so fast-paced that it becomes very difficult to keep up with. Like, for instance, if you're hosting a show and you're DMing the Missouri State Senator, hypothetically, because they're like, "Hey, I'm on a plane with the president, ask me questions," and you sit there and you're like, okay, well, I'm asking Ryan Wiggins questions right now. Maybe I will send a quick message to Senator Eric Schmidt and see what he has to say. And then he's like, how about I come on the show? And then he does, which is just absolutely amazing. Senator Eric Schmidt back on with us. Thank you for the time today and answering that DM. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
Sure. No, I was on the plane, and instead of doing like real work that my staff gave me with my takeout binder, I just decided to be on X and do like a Q&A. So yeah, I was. So anyway, I just landed and back in St. Louis, so I figured I'd call. Absolutely.
Well, we're very glad to have you. I want to ask you about the confirmation process, which was the question that I did send you. We're going to see now moved indoors the inauguration taking place on Monday. How quickly after that are we going to have a Secretary of State, a Defense Secretary, an Attorney General, and so on?
So I think next week, for the confirmation hearings that we had this week, so Pete Hegseth for Department of Defense, Pam Bondi, AG, Marco Rubio, Kristi Noem, Doug Burgum for Energy. I think the ones that you saw this week will get votes next week. That's my hope. I know that I think Marco Rubio's teed up for actually Inauguration Day on Monday.
Good.
So yeah, we're looking to move that quickly to make sure, especially on the national security team, to have that in place. There's obviously a lot of threats around the world, and so we want to make sure the president's got his team in place quickly. So, and then after that, we'll move on. I think, Kash Patel will be in front of the committee before the end of the month, in front of the Judiciary Committee that I'm on. So I think we're gonna try to move quickly.
Senator Eric Schmidt on with us right now. Do you feel as though there's any is there going to be a struggle to get any of these confirmations through once the votes actually happen?
I don't think so. I mean, we don't need any Democrat votes to do it. I've not heard of any Republicans, Senate Republicans, as no votes on anyone yet. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But I would point out historically, it'd be really rare, actually, if there was. I mean, since Bill Clinton, there's only been 3 no votes, not like, confirmations that went awry, but just no votes altogether on any nominees of a president from the same political party as the Senate. So I think that generally speaking, you're going to get broad discretion for the president to put his or her team together, and President Trump certainly earned that right with the mandate that he got on November 5th.
Senator, I remember hearing Senator Whitehouse's commentary to Pam Bondi, and the really slow. He has, bifocals, so he's got his head down and he's kind of looking up. It's a weird presentation when he's saying something to the potential next Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. You would deem it to be inappropriate to find a name and then find a crime and then invoke the inverse as being the appropriate way of going about it. How do you react as a former Attorney General, now Senator, when you hear the Democrats very boldly say something so hypocritical like that?
Well, in that committee hearing, I was there. It was like you were in an alternate universe.
Right.
You were sort of like, what world have the Democrats been living in over the last 4 years to have that kind of sudden concern or find religion on the independence of the Attorney General? I made sure I made the point that Eric Holder, I mean, this isn't a new phenomenon for the Democrats. Eric Holder referred to himself as Obama's heat shield and his wingman. Loretta Lynch, when she was AG under Obama, briefed Bill Clinton on the tarmac about the ongoing investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails 2 days before her FBI interview. So, like, spare me the outrage. And then, of course, the last 4 years, what we've seen under Merrick Garland was exactly that, a Soviet-style form of justice, which was show me the man, I'll show you the crime. These zombie cases were resurrected. Jack Smith, who's totally disgraced, overzealous prosecutor, was charged essentially with putting President Trump in jail so he couldn't win the election. And they failed. They absolutely failed. All this lawfare, I think people rejected. The American people didn't want to see it. Pam Bondi, I've known for years from AG World. I got a chance to introduce her on Wednesday, when that was, Wednesday. She's great. She'll restore credibility. She's fair. She's tough. She's smart. And, she can't get in there a moment too soon.
We're speaking with Senator Eric Schmidt. Very grateful to have you on the phone with us here. A little impromptu conversation. As you have said, you've landed back in St. Louis. I want to know about your conversations in the hearing there with Pete Hegseth. You went hard in on the DEI. And, if there's anywhere DEI should not be plaguing the system, you would think it would be under the responsibilities of the Secretary of Defense. Is Pete Hegseth going to get the job done to get DEI out of our military right away?
Absolutely. I think he's totally committed to it. We had that conversation in my office about a month ago, and I wanted to make sure I had a chance to ask him about it in the public hearing. I think he's really committed to it. He understands how destructive this divisive ideology is. There's no place in our military. You shouldn't be dividing the room by race. And I pointed out just a few examples. The Air Force Academy had discouraged language, including mom and dad. You're not supposed to say mom and dad. You're not supposed to say we're all just people. I mean, this is totally insane. And somehow it's infected our military, and there's no place there. And so I think he's going to root it out, and it's hurting recruiting. I think that's, the ultimate repercussion here is numbers are down. And I think, Pete, one of the great things I think Pete Hegseth is going to do is I think you're going to see recruiting numbers go up. It's going to be the armed forces that we can all be proud of. And look, the men and women who serve, this is not their fault. This is coming from the political class that's being pushed down, and it doesn't matter what room it is, Annie. It can be a barracks or a classroom. They're obsessed with this stuff.
Yes.
They're obsessed with DEI. They're obsessed with critical race theory. It's Marxist ideology, and I think he's going to get rid of it. Now, I actually think you're going to see probably, you're going to see a flurry of executive orders mostly on the border, but you're going to see it on other stuff too. I wouldn't be surprised if President Trump on day one just says they're all gone. I've got legislation to say no more DEI offices, no more DEI positions in the federal government. I think he's going to do it by executive order too.
Well, Senator, we don't have much time left with you, just about a minute left here, but we do know that the inauguration has been moved indoors, frigid 12-degree temperatures in Washington, D.C. on Monday. Will you be there, and do you feel as though that this is going to go out without a hitch, safe, secure, get straight down to business during the inauguration?
Yeah, I mean, the city's on lockdown. I'm flying back for a father-daughter dance tonight, and then we are going to go back up with family this weekend, so I'll be there Monday. It'll be my first inauguration, too. I've never actually been to one, so it'll be kind of neat. But, yeah, the city's on lockdown. I think it's they're taking every precaution necessary. This was, strictly weather-related. And I don't know. I mean, it was done, I guess, in 1985 in Reagan's second inaugural. It was inside. But we are going to try to push out information. We've gotten a lot of requests from Missourians to attend, and we've, given out a bunch of tickets for people to be able to go do that. And so we're going to try to keep people informed as to what the actual deal is. I think all the inside events, like there's a rally on Sunday afternoon. There's all the inaugural balls that happen throughout the weekend and on Monday. Those are still happening. But I think, the actual, swearing in and all that stuff, which is outside where you've got on the Capitol Mall and on the Capitol steps, that'll be different. That'll be moved inside. So there are going to be some changes, but we'll try to keep people in the loop.
Senator Eric Schmidt, we appreciate your time. We can't wait to talk to you again and again and again because so much is going to be happening and you're going to be right there at the epicenter of it. So thanks for squeezing us into your schedule right after you landed back here home.
Sure thing. All right, take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. You as well. Bye-bye. Senator Eric Schmidt sent him a DM on X, and he was obliged to offer to come on the show. Coming back home for a daddy-daughter dance.
And then back to the Capitol on Monday or Sunday.
Can this guy be more likable?
It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, that is next question with your Missouri senator. And we got some interesting things happening in the 2 o'clock hour. Like I said a little bit earlier, just a bit of a development in late night television. And in a way, it involves Ryan Wiggins.
I still don't know what the heck you're talking about.
He said to me literally off air, he goes, is this something I'm really going to get excited for, or is this just radio? I just looked at him like, are you serious?
She didn't answer the question.
No, I was
Force her to answer the question online.
Don't act like you come here to just be faux entertained. You're the entertainer. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we'll find out next. Don't go away.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Under Law Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Time for Deal Mode. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from a billionaire entrepreneur who hopes to buy TikTok to keep the app up and running in the U.S. But it may go dark, at least temporarily, under a federal law upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court today that set up a deadline this Sunday for the platform's Chinese parent company to divest over U.S. security concerns.
The Biden administration punting this to the president-elect Donald Trump. Karine Jean-Pierre saying this in a statement earlier, quote, given the sheer fact of timing, this administration recognizes that actions to implement the law simply must fall to the next administration, which takes office on Monday.
Fox Business's Lydia Hu. President-elect Trump says he must have time to review the situation, also confirming earlier today that TikTok was one of multiple topics in a phone call with China's president. Dangerously cold conditions lead to a change of plans for Inauguration Day, with Monday's swearing-in moved inside the Capitol Rotunda. The president-elect noting that President Reagan also took the oath there because of cold weather in 1985. The nearby Capital One Arena will open for a live viewing of the ceremony, with the president-elect planning to join that crowd after he's sworn in. A confirmation hearing for South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, nominated to be the Homeland Security Secretary.
The Department of Homeland Security is a massive, unwieldy federal agency. If confirmed, Noem must wrestle with the threat of terrorism, cyber attacks, the response by FEMA to natural disasters, and trouble at the Secret Service.
The mission of the department is to secure the homeland and our people. It's our biggest vulnerability right now.
Noem says the Secret Service needs to get back to its core mission of protecting the president, especially after 2 attempts to kill President-elect Trump last year. Noem also fielded questions about potential family separations as President-elect Trump hopes to harden the border and deport those illegally in the U.S.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. America is listening to Fox News.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Increasing clouds going through our Friday afternoon. 48 for the high. Tonight, periods of rain, especially during the evening. Maybe a sloppy, wet snowflake late night. 26 for the low. By the time we get below freezing, the moisture is gone. Saturday, partly sunny, windy. Temperatures holding in the 20s. If anything, we go down a little bit. Sunday, sunny and 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know a quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. It's kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. This one-night class is taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for the classes this month and next, so call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal number, 314-350-8110 for Financial and Tax Architects.
The 28th Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village January 18th through the 20th. The event features 3 days full of non-stop Cardinals family-friendly fun, including tours of the Cardinals clubhouse, admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, plus access to the Cardinals Care Store, autographs, auctions, and an exhibit hall full of sports memorabilia and more. Tickets are on sale now. Proceeds benefit Cardinals Care and its mission to care for kids in the community. Find more details at cardinals.com/WWU.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, and Missouri sports fans, I've got some awesome news. Underdog is available to play in our state. Underdog, the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going off, which ones are ice cold. And this is so much fun. With the Champs game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money by choosing higher or lower on the stats line. So how many yards, touchdowns, interceptions, goals. And Underdog is the only Champs platform that really does put the power to cash out in your hands. So you can either ride with your entry or tap the Win Now button. With the double flex option, you can take 2 L's and turn those into a W. So you got great options with Underdog. Underdog is the best place to play. Sign up and deposit now with promo code MARKR, M-A-R-K-R, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. That's promo code MARKR. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play? Call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Guns and hoses usually means boxing, but January 18th, it's all about soccer. After the St. Louis Ambush faced the Empire Strikers at the Family Arena, first responders take the field. One ticket covers both games. Get yours now at 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
And you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You know, when people tell me what they like about the show, they say, I like the Friday 207 intro of the show.
Yeah, do they?
It feels a little hurtful.
Yeah, if they pick that, like of all the things you do in a week, I would be hurt if I were you. You should take offense.
Yeah, I kind of do. YouTube live chat poll for today. What should happen with TikTok in America? Should it be banned? Should we leave it as it is? Or should we require American ownership to stay? What's your vote on this?
I'm firmly in the last one there, which is require American ownership to stay. I think that's not only a great solution for everybody, because there are a lot of people who've made careers out of TikTok. I mean, I don't know why you would, but there have been people, and I hate to take away American ingenuity of creative ownership of that stuff. So require American ownership to stay is a win, not just for the creators of content, but for people who use TikTok and seek TikTok out for content. It will be a better platform if we own it. So there's really no reason why that shouldn't happen.
What do you think, Brad?
I'm with Ryan on this one. I think that the best possible solution is to require American ownership to stay, or an ally ownership. I know like Kevin O'Leary's Canadian or something like that, but somebody that's a U.S. ally, not China, owning this.
Well, they're going to be the 51st state soon anyway.
Soon,
so.
yeah, you're right. But I don't want to see all these people that have actually built careers out of being influencers on TikTok lose their career because the platform, what they put their content out on, is gone. But at the same time, you cannot let China just keep invading our country and data mining and getting access to all of these parts of our phones and all these other things. And I know everybody's like, well, everybody does it. And it's like, I get that.
I don't think everybody does it the way TikTok
but
does
not
it.
to the extent.
And it's also China.
Right. And so I trust, this is going to sound weird, I trust Mark Zuckerberg more than I trust President Xi. I don't see Mark Zuckerberg as a military rival or a superpower rival to the United States, which is what I see in China. So actually, and if somebody that I trust actually buys TikTok and they revamp it, I'll probably get it. But at this point, I don't even watch the videos my friends send me if they're on TikTok because I don't know how invasive that stuff is. So
there is one other angle to this story that really hasn't been talked about, not just here, but like in the news. People haven't been mentioning that now that the Supreme Court has done this, you open the door to, well, what about other Chinese apps? What if you have the app for Temu? What if you
People do not know that Temu is doing the same gosh darn thing.
They don't. But if you have a company that is owned by China or in China.
Are you a Temu person?
I can't say I've never ordered anything off of it, but I don't have the app. I'll let them into my computer.
You just go to the store?
Yeah.
Not my phone.
Not my phone, though. But there's so many. I've downloaded games before that I'm like, where did this come? I have no idea where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have the same backdoor as any other app. China could be using lots and lots of different things. So the Supreme Court's ruling could affect a lot of other apps now other than just TikTok.
Missed opportunity at 12:45 in the Bee or Not the Bee. The Babylon Bee reports China starting to worry TikTok has made Americans even dumber than they intended.
Whoops. The boomerang didn't come back.
You want to hear the report?
Sure.
Sources at the CIA have determined it is in the best interest of the United States. I can't do these because I just laugh the whole time. It is in the best interest of the United States that they publicize intercepted recordings of a high-profile meeting among China's top government officers, proving that China is worried TikTok has made Americans dumber than they intended. The editorial team at the Babylon Bee has decided to publish a portion of the meeting below. Reader, be warned. The scope of TikTok's stupidifying of the American people may be too disturbing to read. Chinese spy number 1, Chairman Xi, welcome to the command center for TikTok, Operation Ameridum. President Xi, thanks for having me. I like how you've decorated the walls with giant portraits of me. Chinese spy 2, you flatter us, sir. Xi Jinping. So what's all nonsense about TikTok being too powerful? Chinese spy replies, unfortunately, sir, TikTok has become highly effective at making Americans stupid. Too effective, sir. Xi Jinping says, that's great news. Those Americans have outwitted us at every turn due to their hard work, deep patriotism, and brilliant minds. Chinese spy replies, sir, you don't understand. They're too stupid. Beyond too stupid, sir. American stupidity is so high because of TikTok, it is spreading to other countries like a virus. She says, impossible. TikTok is strictly censored here. In the mother country, we're safe, right? The spy replies, sir, they've forgotten their genders, and they think monopoly money is real. They seek wisdom from celebrities. Chairman, they gave their nuclear codes to a rutabaga. I'll just retweet it. You should retweet it too.
It's amazing that the Babylon Bee got a transcript like that. They usually don't. They're not able to get that.
We're the best.
Apparently.
When it comes to TikTok, for me, unless we have American ownership of it, there's a lot of things that would need to happen before I would feel like we could even moderately trust that China has American interests at heart. And China really honestly shouldn't have American interests at heart. They should have Chinese American interests at heart. And they're not compatible. The systems are completely not compatible. I would like to see it in the same vein that we're seeing X and Elon Musk talk about the freedom of speech on his platform and open algorithms so smarter people than me can look through them and see what type of stuff this is happening with these applications. But there's no way it needs to be left as it is.
Yeah, X obviously has changed the game. I mean, Elon's purchase of that in 2022 was such a huge game changer. And we all said at the time.
Nothing happens like this without it.
All this stuff, these kind of dominoes, I mean, the election of President Trump is you could say possibly indirectly related to that. The fact that Zuckerberg is now changing Facebook, at least, he's saying Instagram will be affected by that. If all these platforms are now going to be run by people who are at least in principle for free speech or pretending to be, and then you have TikTok, which soon might be as well, man, this is a huge win for the First Amendment of the United States, and that applies to the entire world in some sense. So these are very, very good developments that are happening. And Zuckerberg, you can question him if you want, but the fact that he's even posturing in that direction is good.
I think we should question him, and he should, and seems to have been welcoming to the questioning.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an idiot by any stretch of the imagination. So if he is going to make such a dramatic public shift, he's got to know that people are going to have eyebrows raised for quite some time. But don't we want changed minds?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want, right? We don't want them to just dig their heels in.
Initially, it had started as a Christmas gift opportunity, and the timing didn't work out yet quite well. But we did a little something for you. Here you go. This is a gift from Brad and from myself. Go ahead and open it.
Okay. This says, can I narrate it? It says it's to
You don't need
Joe.
to say the addresses on the air, but
Okay, well, it says Joe DeVito. Let's see here. Signed. Oh, this is my book.
yeah.
Signed by Joe Maki, Kat Timpf, Tyrus, Greg Gutfeld, and Emily Campagno.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we sent that book over to Fox. Joe DeVito had told us that he would happily get some signatures on it. So we sent it to them, and they signed it, and they sent it back. And
well, that's awesome.
So I did buy your book, for the record. I just don't want to keep it.
Well, thank you. I hope they thumbed through it. That's really neat. Gosh. Wow, that's really cool. I can make out Tyrus Cat. I'm trying to figure out which one is Gutfeld.
It's the one that starts with a G.
He'll be here all day.
I'm trying. I think I've got them all. They've got Kat's is easy to define, and Joe DeVito's is. I think I got Tyrus there. Okay. Wow, Joe Mack. Okay, I figured it out. Wow, that is really neat and very thoughtful of you guys.
I wonder if you could go back and see. That must have been the show one day. That must have been the cast in the show.
Oh, like they brought it in and said, "Hey, everybody sign this."
I mean, did you send it to him at Fox or to his house?
I sent it to him at the address that he had me sent to. I think it was his apartment.
Yeah, and then did you send a package that he could send it
Yep,
back in?
Yep, that's the envelope I sent with it.
So we made it so it was foolproof for him, but we thought, we'll put your book in the hands of the people at Gutfeld and make them prove it. Unless Joe DeVito signed all those, which is possible.
Well, they are the same marker, so
Yeah.
we'll ask him next time he's on. Well, very cool. Thank you, guys.
How's the book going?
It's gone really, really well. The launch has gone great. I could see the sales, and they stopped on Christmas,
Yeah.
which means a lot of people bought it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of been slow to pick back up after Christmas, but apparently a lot of people bought them as gifts for Christmas. And then I guess, after January got back going again, it's kind of been a slow ramp back into seeing some sales again. So, yeah, it's actually gone really, really well.
Well, it's the grocery list, and Ryan wrote a book, and it's as weird as he is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's pretty bizarre.
I read the whole thing that one day on the show when I put the word balls on every page for our fan named Balls.
I didn't make you break out crying, laughing or anything, though. So
I was getting pretty frustrated, actually.
You didn't realize how many pages you had to sign.
I definitely overcommitted, but I was able to deliver. So
very, very cool. Well, this will be something I keep forever. That's really awesome. I hope I can figure out how to display that page right there. I'm going to hold it up just if you want to see.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Tag us.
There we go.
Tag Annie Fry Show on X and
Okay.
tag them and tell them
Yeah.
thank you and see if they recognize it.
Awesome. I will do that.
Is Emily Campagno the one with the heart?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Give me that book. I haven't looked at it because Brad just got it back here recently, and I think we sent it off right before Christmas, maybe, or just after. Cat Tim from the top. Oh, that's definitely Emily. Joe DeVito. Who is Joe Mackey?
Mm-hmm.
Tyrus. This is Joe Mackey.
Okay.
Joe Mackey.
Gutfeld's
Tyrus,
bottom right, I think, right?
Greg Gutfeld. Yeah. Joe DeVito. Emily Campagno. Yeah, that's simple to tell. Cool.
Yeah, very, very.
And I appreciate, thank you to Joe DeVito and to the crew at Gutfeld for humoring us, because we knew it's not something they have to do, right? You know, if you make that ask of them, it's like, do I really need to do that? So they didn't have to. And even for Greg to sign it too, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, that's #1 late night show in America.
Yeah.
Right there, right on the grocery list.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
There you go.
Very neat. Thank you.
Well, happy inauguration.
Thanks.
America gets its country back, and you get a Greg Gutfeld autograph.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Fry Show around the corner. We need your votes. Come say hi in the YouTube chat and tell us what you think needs to happen with TikTok. I kind of want to know how many of you are on TikTok. I'd assume that maybe less of our audience versus a non-political talk radio show's audience, less of you are on TikTok. If it was America-owned, would you like to see the Annie Fry Show on TikTok? Would you be more inclined to get on TikTok? Should it be American-owned and not Chinese-controlled? There's lots to talk about. And, of course, on Monday, after the inauguration, everything gets going. We're going to be covering it live starting at 11 a.m. here on 97.1. Special coverage here from the Annie Fry Show of the inauguration. We're going to listen to all the moments together. So please put it on your calendar while you're taking everything in to join us on 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app or on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We are so excited and we're so grateful that you're a part of it with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
AirComfortService.com. That's the website. If you are looking to make your home comfortable and you put your hand by your vents, it's blowing warm air. And you're like, gosh, why is the house not warming up? Now, today's kind of a weird day because it's in the 50s. But it is going to get super cold again. And you need to make sure that your comfort zone is in reach. And yet you're not running your furnace all day long and it's not heating your home. Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation might have the solution to your problem. 2025 is bringing some serious changes to the HVAC industry and equipment, and if you do need a new furnace, boiler, heat pump, air conditioner, whole HVAC system, you're going to have to call Air Comfort Service to get that free estimate to work with the best team in the business. They are offering an amazing deal right now. You can replace your whole HVAC system and get for free your choice, either attic insulation or an air purifier. All of that air that's seeping out of your rooftops, the insulation is completely deficient. They can help solve that problem when you replace that HVAC system. If this is of interest to you, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, A-U-D-A-C-Y. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
All right, the YouTube live chat poll today, we've been talking about it all day. It's really top headline news. What should happen with TikTok in America? Should it be banned? Leave it as is, require American ownership to stay. We've weighed in. We'd like to hear what you have to say about this topic. Log on to YouTube, type in Annie Fry, and not only will the poll come up, but the live stream where you can watch the show will come up as well. 224, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. When the radio is away, 97.1 can still play. If you have the Odyssey app, of course. Listen to any of your favorite hosts on 97.1 through your phone. On St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
I had a bad week, spent the evening pretending it wasn't that deep. You could see in my eyes that it was taking over. I guess I was just blind and caught up in the moment. You know you take all of
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The rest of this mess that just keeps us depressed. We forget that we're here right now. Cause we're living life at a different pace, stuck in a constant race. Keep the pressure on, you're bound to break. Something's got to change. We should just be cancelling all our plans and not give a damn if we're missing out on what the people think is right. Seeing through a picture behind a screen and forget to be. Lose the conversation for the message that you'll never read. I think maybe you and me, we should head out to the place where the music plays and then we'll go on.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what do we want to talk about before the inauguration? Like, what is left to discuss? We're right at the edge. It's like when you're getting ready to run a race that you've been preparing for so long, and you're in the ready set position, and you're just waiting for the ready set fire.
Well, there's so many things that have already kind of lined up that look good going into the second term, that a lot of what he did in his first term is giving him that credibility that's setting him up now, that you wonder, okay, is he going to walk? It's not going to be a cakewalk. He's not going to walk in, everything just kind of lines up, but everything is lining up. So you wonder what kind of foes are, what kind of big giants is he going to have to face when he actually gets in office if the normal things that you thought he was going to have to fight are already falling into place?
During the last segment, I talk about this usually in the 2 o'clock hour because that's when TMZ is on. I'm always interested in how TMZ is dipping into the political culture. We didn't see a lot of interest on TMZ in anything politics before the election was really going on. They just don't really pay attention to it. Your guy, no. Presuming that everybody in Hollywood is a Democrat, which is not too much of a stretch, I don't think. You just assume their guy is in and whatever's happening is happening and it's okay because their guy is in. But they've been covering a lot of stuff that has to do with Donald Trump, with the election, the post-election, the inauguration. And they were covering a story from Kid Rock, who was on with Jesse Waters and we don't have anything from that, did we? I didn't ask for anything from that. Kid Rock was on with Jesse Waters and was talking about he's going to play at the inauguration. And my understanding is that Kid Rock made a comment about it being shameful to some extent that Michelle Obama is not going to come. We've talked about this a little bit. Is there any part of you that has any emotion or thought or feeling about Michelle Obama's presence or lack of at the inauguration?
There is a part of me. It is extreme curiosity. I really want to know why she's not there. And I don't know. It could be something like I think it was Brad, you mentioned this when we were talking about it before. It could be a Kate Middleton situation. She's got something health-wise going on. They don't really want to talk about it. And then it comes out later, oh, yeah, wow, that's pretty serious, you know?
She has to wash her hair.
That's what girls told me when I called them in high school. And I was
and then
always
you said,
like,
I don't have any.
I had hair at that point,
Did you?
Ethan. This isn't like dump on Ryan
When
moment.
did you start losing your hair?
I was 19.
So
When
not
I was
much out of high
19.
school.
I was right out of high school.
I was pretty close.
When I was in 8th grade, I started getting gray hair. I mean, Ethan and I were talking about this yesterday because his mom's a hairdresser and might just be cutting my hair sometime soon. I need to get my hair cut. But I don't color my hair. I haven't colored my hair since, I can't determine if it was 2016 or 2017. I stopped coloring my hair. My hair is gray. And I guess it might look blonde or kind of platinum, but it's gray. Wouldn't you say, Ethan?
I thought, genuinely, I mean, there are multiple times sitting on the opposite side of this studio that I said that I like her platinum highlights to
Yeah.
myself.
I do not have them. I do, but they are not. They are God.
They're
grown.
natural.
Yes. I quit coloring my hair because it costs so gosh darn much to color hair all of the time and to keep up with it. And I needed to color my hair at some point, and I started getting complimented on, oh, who does your hair? Because gray was in, and I didn't know that because I'm not on trend. And so people started complimenting it, and then I was like, well, why would I go pay $150 to get the whole thing managed and then have to do it again in 12 weeks? So I quit doing it, and I haven't colored my hair since. And so then I don't really cut my hair either because I don't make time for it. But I had gray hair, like noticeable, if like above my ears. If I pulled my hair back in a ponytail, you'd see it like on the side of my head. I'd have gray hair in 8th grade. You weren't losing your hair in high school, but after high school?
It was real close to high school, but here's the problem. I knew it was going to happen because they always say it comes from your mom's side.
Mom's dad.
Yeah, mom's dad and mom's brothers, and my mom had nothing but brothers. It was all brothers, and they all had the exact same thing.
Does your mom have hair?
Yeah, she's fine.
Beautiful hair.
Gorgeous. Every time I see her.
Does it make you mad?
Like, wow, Mom.
Freaking jerk.
What do you need that for?
But all of her brothers, all of them had the exact same hairline as me. It was kind of high.
Yeah.
And then it started at the temples, but then it went very slowly throughout their life.
Did
and
you?
I'm like, that's what's going to happen.
You knew it was going to happen. Real question, if you don't mind me asking you about it, because I know that you've talked about this before. Was it tough to deal with that?
Yeah, it's terrible. And now, real answer, I don't color my hair either. I don't fill it in.
Your chin is looking a little bit like my hair in 8th grade.
Yeah, the only hair I color is my body hair. I do not touch my face or my head at all.
Pure.
Color and braid.
Color and braid body hair, but not face. Some things I just say for Ethan. That one's just for you.
Thank you.
But it was hard because I knew I need to get married fast. So I did everything I could.
That was your whole plan, and you still managed to land Katie Wiggins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great.
Well done.
It really worked out well for me. I actually...
What about for her?
I thought about... No, she's not doing great. I actually thought about getting the hair implant thing when I was pretty young, but I thought, gosh, this is... I couldn't afford it when I was that young. I could probably now, but I just don't know, like, does it do anything? You know, I'm married, so I'm not really like trying to put myself out there. I guess I am in media, so that, you know, I could use it as a tax write-off because
get your hair,
that's all
get
possible.
your hair done, and then insure it.
Yeah, but I just don't know. I still am right on the verge where I'm kind of thinking about it, but I kind of not. I need something to kind of make that decision and then make it final.
You know,
a sponsor would do it. A sponsor would do it.
That would probably be a good Wiggins America subject, is the weirdest things that people have insured.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird things.
Like, do you think anyone actually has their, like, that did that actually has that insured? Like their hair?
Oh, I'm sure there are. Yeah, there's people who've insured body parts in Hollywood for years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Barack Obama tweeted today, 2 hours ago, back to the initial conversation, "Happy birthday to the love of my life, Michelle Obama. You fill every room with warmth, wisdom, humor, and grace. And you look good doing it. I'm so lucky to be able to take on life's adventures with you. Love you." And then it was retweeted by Michelle Obama. "Love you, honey."
Every room that she's in, but not Jimmy Carter's funeral room.
Or
Not
the
that one.
inauguration coming up.
Not that one either.
But I mean, remember when we were talking about this before about the question surrounding if maybe there was a concern about their marriage, and the fact that she wasn't at Jimmy Carter's funeral has some people discussing. Jack Posobiec even said that there are rumors that there's a divorce pending between the two. So there's questions, and I said at the time that Jack Posobiec will publicly ask questions that get to be discussed because he's, doing the harmless, I'm just asking questions. And I said, you can go back and check the tape. You get enough of these types of allegations that eventually you'll see some sort of picture of the two of them. I think I said at the grocery store together,
holding hands, pointing at something.
Well, now if you're watching here on the stream, I'm gonna put this up here on the stream, but it happens to be your birthday, so that makes a lot of sense that you would send if he didn't tweet something on her birthday, that would be definitely considered more evidence to what is being considered as a problem here. But here, look at this picture. How would you describe that picture of?
Oh,
that's a lot of wine.
Well, that's a lot of wine, but they are sitting as far apart from each other as you can while still holding
They're
hands.
sitting across the table from one
Yeah,
another.
but that is
It's a big table, but
they
they're
have-
sitting at the short side of the big table.
Abnormally large arms. Long arms, I should say.
Well, I think they're sitting so far apart. That's what's so weird about it.
Holding hands.
Yeah.
I think they're probably in a restaurant, maybe a birthday. They look like they're in some sort of room.
Wine room.
Yeah, some sort of wine room at a wood slab table. I bet that table is bank.
Maybe he's trying to secretly send a message because of the picture that he took. Like we're hanging on by just a.
Do you work for TMZ? This is good.
Mm-hmm. That is good stuff.
Body language expert.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I do.
Ethan
guys, that's what I do.
Hannaford. I just think it's kind of interesting that you have a profession of love, a photo op, with an immediate retweet by Michelle Obama saying everything's good. So, as I said the last time, I hope everything is good.
Yeah.
I'm for families. I want families to stay together, and I want theirs to stay together as well.
You didn't even mention the emojis she put in there too. A heart and a kissy face. That warms it up a little bit.
If I make the kissy face or the kissy sound anywhere near my husband in front of my kids, they start
They just flip.
projectile vomiting.
Oh yeah.
They think it's the most disgusting thing ever.
As a son that has parents that love each other, I can relate to those children.
I love how you relate to the children.
I'm 24 and I still do that. Like,
Yeah, but
I don't want to know.
You're married and you're going to have babies probably, and you're going to do the same thing to them. But it's just like if my husband is, if he's leaving somewhere and he gives me a kiss, they're like, ew, gross. Let me ham it up for him. Just make sure that they're completely appropriately appalled that their parents are affectionate towards another.
I'm looking at this tweet and the retweet both, and I'm looking for hints myself here. And
what do you see?
As a font expert,
oh god,
I'm reading into this, and the font. Now here's the thing. This is sort of a generic font, so it's really hard to see.
Are you talking about the X font?
Mm-hmm. And what I'm finding as a font expert is that this is actually just the typical font used on Twitter by everyone.
On the internet.
Yeah, which says to me, not really a special day.
I don't know. Their cups are empty. They're not even half full.
No, they're not.
Or running over.
Nor
With all
do they
that
have
wine
a
there,
meal.
it's like they had a choice, and they chose not to have
no
their
abundance of anything
cups running over.
except for hatred.
The
Maybe.
abundance of booze is bottled up
Now,
and relegated to the background.
We made this really dark.
I know a lot of people are saying, well, this is probably...
Brad's going to put this on the internet, and we're going to have the most trafficked video of Obama lovers who are like, these people, they're not even serious. And I'm like, I know.
Or right-wing Twitter will be like, look what people discovered about this photo.
Oh, crap.
What I've discovered, another thing, Brad, if you want to do a video about this, one of the things that I've discovered about this after looking at it for now a total of maybe 45 seconds.
Like the longest you've ever looked at anything
tweet ever. Yeah. Is that
short attention span.
If this photo, this is how you do a TMZ segment, by the way. This is like a masterclass.
It is.
If this photo was taken pre-meal, okay, fine. If taken post-meal, this was a very, very good meal because they have left
cleaned-
no food.
They've cleaned those
There's
plates.
no
Lick
wine.
those plates clean.
There's nothing left on the plates. So what does that say about the relationship? That's something that you bring in a different expert for.
What I see is that
Maybe
the
we
picture,
should bring in an expert.
the picture is now gone from the stream,
Yeah, it's
meaning
over.
that you took it a step too far.
I think so. I think so.
All right, let's take a break. The Obamas are probably fine, and Michelle will not be attending the inauguration. I don't blame her for it. I don't care if she's there. I barely want Donald Trump to go to the inauguration. I want him to get to work. Like, go, go, go. Pomp and circumstance, yada, 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 yada. I mean, at some point, do you look at some of these people who are there who just overtly despise Donald Trump, and they're like standing there watching him swearing, and you're like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, I guess.
Michelle's
I guess
like,
so.
I'm not faking it. I think that was something that she said. So I wonder if you care about it. YouTube live chat poll. Ethan will give us those results in the next segment. What should happen with TikTok in America? You let us know what you think. We'll get those results next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Shop for flooring at a place that is excited to see you. Mention the Annie Fry Show and 97.1, and you're the family. The family-owned and operated business that's been running Michael's Flooring Outlet for 30 years in St. Louis. Doing it the right way, and that really matters. It matters to me. I think it matters to you that when you go spend your money on a great product and you don't have to overpay for it, that you're doing it at a place that appreciates you. If you go online to igotfloored.com, you can look through review after review after review. They're the Google reviews. They auto-populate there. You can read from real customers, real people right here in the area who have made the choice to buy their flooring either residentially or commercially from Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've got the products that you're seeking out. Maybe you haven't heard about the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line that they carry of carpeting, and you're going to be able to check that out and experience that when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. The guidance that you're going to get is second to none. If you're looking for flooring, shop Michael's Flooring Outlet in St. Charles County, West County, Darien Prairie, online at igotfloored.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-214-3777. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-214-3777. 800-214-3777. 800-214-3777.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you have a furnace that needs service, a heat pump that needs repairs, or a boiler that needs to be replaced, contact Air Comfort Service. They offer 24/7 emergency heating service too. aircomfortservice.com.
Mike Elam guest hosts the Mark Reardon Show today on a Friday, and it is a loaded one. Reardon Roundtable in the 3 o'clock hour, Paul Hall, Frank Cusimano in the 4 o'clock hour, and much more. It all starts after Fox News at 3.
Can't be sleeping, keep on waking without the woman.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Guilt is burning inside of me.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on the night. Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on the night. Don't blame it on me.
Breaking news just moments ago, a source confirming to Fox News that President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance will be sworn in indoors at Monday's inauguration. I believe this is only the second time this has happened. The last time it happened was 1985 with none other than Ronald Reagan. There are dangerously cold temperatures that are moving into the region, and it will be the coldest inauguration in 40 years.
So there's some interesting news. And you know how we don't pride ourselves on being like affiliated, because we're not in any way, shape, or form with your favorite local rapper. We just always think it's funny if he were listening to our show. That would be so cool.
And we just assume that he is.
But only that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Cut, which is a publication that I think it's involved with New York Magazine, is reporting that Nelly is going to perform at the inauguration.
What?
That's wild. In contrast to his 2017 inauguration, this time around, there are a lot of actual famous people signing up to usher Donald Trump into his second term. Usher. Olivia Craighead is the writer for The Cut who is reporting this. Earlier this week, it was announced that Carrie Underwood would perform America the Beautiful. That'd be so cool if Nelly was doing that. At Trump's inauguration ceremony, then it was reported that Rascal Flatts and Jason Aldean would be playing at different inaugural balls. The obvious addition to this list, of course, is, I'm adding, St. Louis's own Nelly. On Friday, CBS reporter Tareen Smalls posted on X that the rapper would be performing at Trump's Liberty Ball on Monday night, which means he'll be sharing a bill with Aldean. Semaphore reported Kadia Goba also reported the news on X. So they're basically saying a lot of reports suggesting this is the case. The vibe of this inauguration appears to be, quote, yeehaw. And Nelly gets included in that. That's great. Which makes Nelly one of the only rappers that fits this ball. He's had country crossover hits with Tim McGraw, Florida Georgia Line, Kane Brown. Little did we know that he had a yeehaw bent to his politics as well. Does the willingness to perform at an inauguration ball presume that person voted that way?
No, but at least suggests that they're not opposed to it. If they look, this is Donald Trump. If anybody is willing to come out and be associated with him and his inauguration in any way, I would say that they are saying publicly, I am okay with this.
Is there a difference from I voted for this person and I'm not angry, or like separately, like a full-on endorsement, I'm voting for this person, I want you to vote for this person too, versus I'm an entertainer. I like to entertain people, and I have no problem with Donald Trump being the president. Those are two different statements.
They are two different statements, and that is probably what most of these people are saying. But they also know they're stepping into it. That they have to know that if you're going to publicly come out in support of anything celebrating Donald Trump, even if you didn't vote for him, you're ready. You're in the crosshairs.
Times are changing a little bit. I think that is indicated here in what we're seeing, just regularly speaking, even the Jeff Bezos, the Silicon Valley people, Zuckerbergs, who have shifted a little bit. Olivia Craighead on The Cut goes on to say, this is the last paragraph of this article. It's the best one. While this is a bummer, or perhaps a dilemma, in parentheses, sorry, for people who scream when Hot in Here comes on at weddings, I fear we have not fully grappled with what this means. We are almost certainly going to get a video of Trump, Elon Musk, or both of them dancing to country grammar. I don't know if this nation is strong enough to handle that.
I hope so.
That's the end of the paragraph. That's the end of the article.
Wow. Okay.
Like, this is why I appreciate it. And to Craighead there, I appreciate the article. That's the source of information for the report that Nelly will be performing at the Liberty Inauguration Ball. I don't live in a world where watching people dance, maybe even poorly, affects an ounce of anything that goes on in my brain.
Does he do his YMCA dance to country grammar?
Oh, heck yeah. That's all
Is
he
that
does.
what he does? Is he
I
pumping the
don't
fist?
think he can do anything else.
Well,
that's the extent of
He's
dancing.
doing the golf swing too to
Yeah.
country grammar.
I think that the music comes on. He's center stage / center frame on the camera. You give it about a 2-measure punch out with the Trump dance. You do your thing, and then you go on with life.
A couple of claps, maybe a
takes
little headbutt.
It takes a commitment and lightning in a bottle to establish an official dance of an administration. I mean, this is the type of stuff that the Kamala Harris campaign was trying to force down our face because it was so joyful.
That's so true.
And Donald Trump does this
so true.
goofy butt dance out in front of everybody, and everyone's like, it's cool with me.
Yeah,
Now
people
people do
across
it.
the world are doing it at sporting events. I think it would be great if we saw Carrie Underwood come out, do America the Beautiful. Nelly comes out, does like 2 hours of B-sides.
Of what?
Doesn't do any of his big stuff, just the deep
B-side.
cuts, the stuff that you don't know as well. This
is
my
a new project
album.
of mine.
Yeah. And goes way long, you know? Like, we just wanted you to come out, do country grammar. You know? He just keeps going.
Is he on Twitter?
Nelly?
I'm looking.
I don't know. Let's just
Nelly
ask him.
_Mo.
Assuming he's listening.
That's not right. That's somebody who wants to be told that that's Nelly.
Might be Nelly's burner account.
Maybe he can join us on Monday in our live broadcast.
Nelly Mo.
If it is, he only has 20 followers.
Is that Nelly with a
He's doing
K?
a pretty good job if it's a burner account.
Knelly.
Talk about the special coverage, Ryan, that we're going to do on Monday.
Starting at 11 o'clock, we're going to be covering everything. So we'll be live all day Monday. It's MLK Day. But we'll be here and covering not only the swearing in, but everything that happens after. I think, we all, well, actually now I was going to say we all kind of expect what the swearing in is going to look like. You hear Donald Trump speak. That's always pretty exciting, though, because you never know what he's going to say. But now it is going to be a little different because of the moving it all indoors. I know Mark Cox had planned on being there, but a lot of people's plans have had to change because of that. It won't accommodate as many people now being indoors. I don't even know where indoors it's going to be yet, but we'll be covering it all live. And then the minute he takes that oath, we're all expecting him to start signing executive orders, and that's going to be where it really gets fun. And we assume, based on the timeline that we've been given, that will start during the Annie Fry show.
Sure.
And that we'll be covering it.
The ceremony will be in the 11 a.m. hour for us, and we are going to cover all of everything that comes along with that. You'll be able to hear the oath. We will be here covering it for you live, so that if you are not in a position, we understand you want to see it. Not everybody has the ability to do that. If you tune in to 97.1, if you load us up on the Odyssey app, and if you pull us up on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, we'll do it together. It's kind of a fun way to experience this together, of the culmination of everything we've been talking about for 4 years now. We'll be able to watch that, but then immediately go after that into the business of it, as the president is expected to go into the business of it. Have you followed up with Steve Moore? Is he still willing to come back on this?
I will follow up with him right after the show.
He said that he told us on air on Monday, he's like, I'll be there. I should come on the show, which is honestly how he became a weekly guest, because we booked him and he's like, we should do this weekly. And we're like, okay. And then he did.
Funny.
So we're looking to have guests come on the show. So it'll be a lot of people are off on Monday. A lot of people aren't off on Monday. I mean, the world still continues to spin, of course. So we're gonna. I'm hoping to have some fun things to listen to. A bit of a day of celebration, of course, and I really want to take phone calls as well. So if you're looking to participate in this day from wherever you are and reach out to us and take phone calls or have your phone call be heard and talk to the people here in St. Louis that are listening just like you and taking in this historical moment, whether you're really, really excited about it or maybe you're really nervous about it. I'm looking forward to bringing you into that moment in time and to be a part of it, because this really is a reflection on the American people. As much as everything was thrown at the American voter still came back and decided for the third time in a row to increase their support for Donald Trump. He has gained support with each vote. He has manifested the greatest comeback in political history in this country, and we're going to get to see it come together on Monday, and we're going to be here broadcasting the whole historic moment. I'm excited about it.
I recommend that in the future, every big guest that you have, you just introduce them as a weekly guest, this being the first week for Tulsi Gabbard.
We've had Tulsi Gabbard on the show. It's more of an biannual guest. Is it biannual mean twice a year or every other year?
I think it's twice a year.
Bi-weekly is every other week.
It could also mean
twice a week. Mean twice a week,
so maybe
too, though.
biannual is used the same way.
I don't know. This is really going to be something for the historians to determine.
This is one of those things that George Washington talked about whenever he was...
This is one of those reasons why I should absolutely say that, because it could just be interpreted however.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're upset about it, I'll be like, oh, I meant the other one.
Yeah.
Now we're thinking here.
Yeah.
YouTube live chat poll for today. Ethan, why don't you set it up? We'll give the answers. I'll read some responses here, and you can give the results.
Yeah, real quick before that, they did announce that the inauguration address will be delivered inside of the Capitol Rotunda, which was last used by Ronald Reagan in 1985, also because of cold weather. And then after, Trump is going to speak at Capital One Arena for where people can be attending and watching. So he's going to go there after and be speaking. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew about that. What should happen with TikTok in America is today's YouTube live chat poll. The options: be banned, leave it as is, or require American ownership to stay.
Ryan?
I am require American ownership to stay. I do believe that is what's going to happen, and I think that's a really good result.
Brad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that American ownership should be required for it to stay.
Ethan is in the middle of doing something. Go ahead, Ethan. With the results? What do you got?
Yeah. So mine is I think that it'll be require American ownership to stay as well. But if it doesn't end up being that, I'm definitely willing for it to be banned. The final vote here, 26% be banned, 9% leave it as is, and a overwhelming percentage going to require American ownership to stay. 64%, 228 votes on today's YouTube live
So
chat.
a fourth of the folks say they just want it to all out be banned. And I kind of understand that sentiment, but I don't think that's the most American way to look at it. If Donald Trump is able to preserve TikTok and Americanize it, I think that's going to bring a lot of people into interest into what he's doing coming up here, even more so than the election has. Thank you for being with us. We will be back at 11 a.m. on Monday for live coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Don't go away. Keep it here on 97.1 FM Talk.
So beat the drum.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America.
After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.